Singing this song, I see I was wrong. To chain you down, I was the clown. I'm singing this song, I see I was wrong. To chain you down, I was the clown. I know now what you're all about. I've had the time to run out. I pray for the touch of your hand. Your love is so, so grand. Oh, baby.
Sorry about that little brief delay right there. I was trying to navigate between some screens and answer a person's question and get some verification on things. But with that said, hello, ladies and gentlemen. As with you always, this is Max doing another live video today on XRP. So with that said, let's welcome everybody from this great, great world in the chat. Let's turn on some banners first, and then we'll get into your comments. It's going to be a good show. Thank you for being here. Just turning some things back on. And we'll start things off with the one, the only, Tim Shea. Says Max with the exclamation mark. Thank you for being here, Tim Shea, Mayor Crypto, representing the 589th district of the XRP Army, the Crypto Commissioner, Tim Shea. Thanks for being here, man. Brittany's back. She says, hello, ladies and gentlemen. She says, hello, Max. Thanks for being back, Ms. Brittany. You're going to have to tell me what the max level character is in regards to that game you guys were telling me about last night. But yeah, Tim Shea saying hello. Brett Haslam, not to be confused with Udonis Haslam. Good day, team. Welcome back. Glad to have you back. Steve Rose is back. Did you get rid of your avatar? Anyway, he says BlackRock will get green lit for ETS as soon as Coinbase BlackRock assures SEC that the proper surveillance checks are in place. They will agree, and boom, your rights gone, and control goes to the SEC. Oh God. How did we go from possibly having Gary Gensler resign to this? Well, we'll have to see what happens with that. Thank you for that update from Steve Rose. He also says he worked at Tesla as a millwright. He thinks every robot in the Tesla factory will be tokenized. Really? Let me just sip this real quick. Machinery in the world will be on a ledger. AI will manage all data. My goodness. Please smash that like. Let's see how we're doing on the likes real quick. 13 likes. All right. Well, please hit it. Helps get this out to a broader base. Thank you for all that info, Steve Rose. Edward Vincent with all the likes. Steve Rose also states using the laws of physics, AI will make advancements that will change the world in 5 years. AI will give each human a self-worth, a credit score based on how much money you can make using data about you. They're doing a lot of this already in China as we speak. Mike, welcome back. Max going for a full week. You know, the longest I ever done straight, I think, was like 3 straight weeks. And then maybe like Larry came back for a day, and then I had to do like maybe another couple weeks or another 3 weeks. But it felt like it was almost 2 months straight when he had his eye problem. But anyway, welcome back, Mike. Corey B-Bay. See, I remembered, man. Welcome back. What up, folks? Happy 4th to everyone. Well, that's tomorrow. Salute the 3 Kings. XRP, XLM, and XDC. Remember that movie called 3 Kings? George Clooney, Ice Cube. Who was the third one? Anyway, kind of a decent movie. They'd be like, we three kings be taking the gold. JC, the man's back. Welcome back to Josh Cornwell, the man. Appreciate you. Give him a follow on YouTube. All right, Bone is pumping. All right, let's pull that up then. And we'll get into some more comments. So we did tick up to 1.22 trillion. I don't know if you guys saw that. Not too bad. Yeah, right here, 1.22 trillion. Let me come back into, okay, there we go. 24-hour chart, PayPay's up. Mafal coin, not too bad. I mean, it was higher earlier today. So that's cool stuff. Let's see what's going on with Bone. Bone. Up 12.81% on the day, 21% up for the week. Not bad, but now up to $1.09. Yikes. I had the opportunity to get around 60-something cents. I missed the boat again, didn't I? But like Tim Shea mentioned, I should have a decent amount with my what do you call it? Providing liquidity to Shiba Swap. That's right. I haven't even checked on that. It's been well over a year, probably a year and a half almost now. But that's okay. See what's going on with the rest of the stuff real quick. We'll leave it up here for just a moment. 7-day chart, Crow King. I wouldn't recommend getting into Crow King. I think they're going to a V3. Can you imagine that? All right, and here's some of the other ones. Bitcoin Pay up 37%. 7-day chart. But here's the problem, right? Mike Cornwell, I know you love Bitcoin Pay. The volume, there's only $238 worth of volume right now. And then here's another thing that's weird. Self-reported market cap, unconfirmed, only 15,560. But then again, like we mentioned before, if somebody comes in and buys it, you basically own like almost the whole supply. I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird things. But if the market cap explodes, then, well, you get the point. All right. We'll just leave that up here for a brief moment. Go further down. Happy 4th. God bless America. Thank you for that, Mr. Crypto Jedi. Appreciate you. Hopefully you enjoyed that little Biggie Smalls and what's it called? Life After Death Star. So Life After Death. Tell you what you want, man. Those some pretty catchy beats. All right, glad that Tim Shea, the Mayor of Crypto, is welcoming everybody. Mr. Boomer Effin' Sooner's back. Welcome back, Mr. Boomer Effin' Sooner. Did you go with brisket? Did you go with ribs? What are you barbecuing? You barbecuing steaks, chicken? Are you doing everything? Boil it, mash it, stick it in stew? Potatoes. All right, we're going to welcome the one and only Henry Brown. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, when XRP moons, MC Hammer Pants. Oh, God, really? All right, I'll give you a little heads up on something, right? So when I was in the 2nd and 3rd grade, this is like, second grade was like 1988, 89 school year. 3rd grade was 1989, 90 school year. And that was literally at the height of like MC Hammer Pants, those parachute pants. But basically speaking, and we'll get into crypto, I swear, guys, we will. All the friends wearing and so on. I actually wanted some MC Hammer Pants. Like my parents are just like, there's no way in hell you're wearing MC Hammer Pants. And then like the previous year, or actually when I was in the 1st grade, so it was like, what was that, 1987, 88 school year? I really wanted to like have some like ripped up jeans because I was like a fan of like Guns N' Roses and stuff. They weren't having that either. So anyway, didn't get to experience it, but it's whatever. And when XRP moons, MC Hammer Pants, like you mentioned, can't touch this. Ripple time. Or check out the hook while my DJ revolves. It's Ripple, Ripple, baby. Well, I probably didn't read that as good as you want me to, but thank you for the super chat, Henry Brown. Always appreciate you, brother. Boom. There you go. Come back into the frame. A little bit better, I should say, bigger. I'm glad everybody's welcome. Henry and Dave D's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Who else we got up here? Achman's back. We gave you a shout yesterday, Achman, about that CTFC finding. Brian Dowie's in the house again. Thank you for being here, Brian Dowie. Let's welcome a few more people. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Hopefully I didn't skip anybody. Hold on, Max, I said hey first, but it's spirit. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Michael Montclair. Hey, everyone. Let's get this bill running. Okay. Welcome back. Michael Montclair. See that we're ticking up. Please smash that like. Definitely helps. Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, oh yeah, Mark Wahlberg. That's right. You're right about that. It is Mark Wahlberg. Mark in the Funky Bunch. Technically one-hit wonders, right? With New Vibration or whatever it is. I went platinum. All right, Jeremy Amos. Oh, good. It's you. I like you better than the other guy. Oh boy. All right. Well, thanks. I think Larry understands, but yeah. You and Mike are in agreement on that, as well as some other people, but that's okay. I mean, we all bring our own thing to the mix. All right. Let's see. Stupid autocorrect. It's all right. Q. Is this the guy I'm thinking who it is? Are you Q Opal? Are you the guy that gave me a bunch of crap for wearing a baseball cap and stuff like that? And then when I went on your channel, you're the guy that has a great big mess behind himself instead of a green screen or something like that. I don't think you're the same guy, but yeah, why would you be asking me about thoughts on render? Anyway, welcome. Consider changing your avatar. Something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about. I have promised that I would basically do like an intro deep dive on render. I still promised. I haven't forgotten. We're going to get into that, as well as another one that is similar to Relio, but it's a little bit different. And the reason why I'm pointing out this other one in regards to real estate is because of what Warren Buffett owns. Now, we know that Warren Buffett's kind of like anti-crypto, but it's kind of like a perfect case, kind of like JP Morgan. You have, what's his face, the big head honcho of JP Morgan bashing crypto. And then it's like, okay, well, do you not realize that there's quorum? You guys, that's your thing. This is the perfect example. But I want to cover both in a segment. I don't know if I'll do it on 4th of July, but I'm leaning towards I'll probably do it like sometime later this week. No promises, but that's what's going to happen. Just been a very, very stressful times lately, but I gotta get through it. All right. Glad to have you guys. Thank you for welcoming everybody. You were in the 6th grade. LOL, not that far off. Oh, okay. Yeah, 4 grades ahead of me. Huh. So we could have went to school at some point. I mean, yeah, we could have went to the same elementary school for like a year or two, right? Could have saw you, at lunchtime or something. I don't know. Breaking parachute pants, knee spinning, and moonwalking. Very cool. Very cool. Let's welcome back Crypto Homes 777. If I skipped anybody, didn't mean to. Measure Power. Hello. Guten Tag. Liechtenstein Exchange. Just me in the house. Okay. Cash Cats is here. Elon Muff is here. Welcome back, man. I thought you guys were going to be gone for today and tomorrow. What up, Brethren Max? Hope all is well, my friend. I just want to state this, man. I'm sorry that I didn't get the chance to respond to you back on Facebook Messenger. It's been extremely stressful last few days. I mean, like literally probably the last couple weeks. I just need to like focus and try to block out the outside noise. I got to. Thank you for hopefully you give me the benefit of the doubt on some of the stuff. But thanks, Mike. $2 super chat. Appreciate it, man. I hope that everybody is, for the most part, enjoying your brief holiday time off. I mean, you got, in a way, how does it go? I think this is how it goes, right? We don't treat tonight like a Friday. Here's why we don't treat it like a Friday. We don't get the next 2 days off, right? We treat tonight like a Saturday, like a half of a Saturday, right? Because tomorrow would be treated kind of like you would treat a Sunday, because the day after that you got to go back to work, right? So I think we treat it like half of a Saturday night. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't do that. That's just the way I look at things. Thanks for the $2 super chat. We're going to get further down. Everyone's welcome to Muff. And also Cool Cat Crypto's in the house. My voice is breaking. Hold on. Man, last night I went to this place for some late night Chinese food, and it was the worst I ever had in my life. And even though the owner of the place is a nice lady, and it was nice that she's encouraging her kid to work there. I mean, it's the only place in town open to midnight, late night Chinese. The worst I ever had ever. I know what you guys are gonna say, oh, you guys had, you probably had some cat or something like that. No, nothing that bad, but like you could totally tell like she used the same oil or something like from the previous night. And listen to this. This is no joke. This is not made. I had to throw away my food. This is no joke. Okay. So not only did she use the same oil from like the previous night or something like that. You know how you go into like a Chinese place, even a good hole in the wall Chinese place. This is a hole in the wall. Bad part of town. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, some real riffraff going on last night, right? But I had to get something. So anyway, just real quick, and we'll get in. Oh man, my voice. We'll get into the show here in a second. I just want to state this real quick. All right, you go to a hole in the wall place. They make you Chinese food, right? Just hear me out. I know you guys in the chat. So you should hear pots and pans banging around and, the sound of a wok going on. This didn't happen. This is what happened. I heard the sound of a microwave going off 6 times. I counted it 6 times. I kid you not. This lady heated up leftover Chinese food from earlier, the previous night or something. When I got my lo mein, it tasted like ghetto lo mein. What is ghetto lo mein? It was literally just like Panda Express. You know how Panda Express, if it ain't fresh, it tastes like it's been sitting out all day. So it literally tasted like instant lo mein, instant fried rice. It was mushy, and it was from like the previous night. And then like my barbecue pork and all that stuff supposed to go in the fried rice. It tasted like it was like reheated from the previous night or the previous 2 nights. It was so horrible. Like I wouldn't, like if there was a homeless guy, I would just like, I don't know, buy him a new meal or something like that. I'm not gonna give him this food. I wouldn't even feed it to my dog. It was so bad. I left him a bad review. The kids said that their company or their business was in business for over 2 years. If you live in the Phoenix area, do not go to a place called King Chili's. It is horrible. All right, enough about that. I don't. Lesson learned, man. I mean, I just thought I found a diamond in the rough that's open like late night takeout. My God, it was so bad, so bad. All right, enough about my rant about Chinese food. I'm gonna welcome April Cornwell. She's in the house. Hey, Max. Hey, everyone. Glad to have you here, April. River is in the house. GS is in the house. A lot of you guys in the house. So if I skip over you, I'm sorry. No, thank God, because if I would have ate a bunch of that probably would have happened. Yeah, I would have tried to, page Mr. Rand, be like, Rand, let me tell you something. Paging Dr. Green Thumb or Brown Thumb at this point. No mud butt special on that one, my friend. I know where you're going with that one. So shout out to Rand. It's funny how we basically try to summon Rand. I'll state this. Are you guys weird about stuff like this? Like when your ears ring for no reason, you're like, man, I didn't do nothing. I got my vitamins. I got my workout, right? And just your ears are ring for no reason. There's a theory that if your ears ring, it means somebody's talking about you. All right, let's just kick it into what we have, right? Because we're 18 minutes into the show. Mr. Max, what you know now? My order. Today, order beeping box. I give you a good instant noodle. Oh, would you guys have some kind of special here? We got the number 4, the number 5 substitute chicken almond chow mein for pork chow mein for $5. All right, I'll go with that. You want 8 chop soup? I give you 8 chop soup. Oh, you want chop suey? I give you chop suey. All right, enough about that. And people say, well, that's racist. You're making fun of Chinese people. Fool, I am Chinese. My mother's grandparents, her grandma came from mainland China. So please. All right. Let's jump into it. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Let's jump into what we have for all this. And believe it or not, we're going to do something kind of unconventional. So we're going to start things off with some Q&T, not super long. I don't normally do this, and I want to state for the record, I have no disrespect for this guy. I think overall he's a good guy. Like he mentions that he likes Q&T and so on. But some of you guys have, I don't know, maybe you've given into some of the fear and so on. I'm not going to mention anybody's names. You know who you are. It's okay. This isn't me not being disrespectful to you, but even Quant Papa, without even me telling him about some of this stuff, he is sending me information in regards to this particular individual, right? This is not anything bad where it's like, oh, this is another crypto bellwether moment or anything like that. Nothing like that, right? Like I said, I think overall this guy's a good person. He does state in his video that he's not trying to spread FUD, but in reality, it's like, well, it kind of is in a way. But you know, you got to think about it. The whole concept of FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Like if you're creating like one of the three things, right, from the abbreviation of that fear, well then yes, it is in a way FUD. So we can agree to disagree. We're gonna watch part of this, okay? And I don't know. I mean, maybe some of you guys give into this, but there's going to be an action and reaction. That's the thing I'm trying to get across to you guys. Action and reaction. Action is, let's share what he has to say. Let's be objective of it, and so on, right? Open-minded and so on. And then we'll give you guys, for instance, our reaction. So we're going to play his video first. His video is about roughly 8 minutes. And then after that, we're going to kick it into our research and our findings and so on, like our reaction. So in reality, I don't know, it's probably going to be about 9 minutes. So whatever the case be on this segment, because a lot of times I just explain a lot of things, I go on like 15 or 20 minutes. It's going to be roughly about 10 minutes total. So let's just go ahead and get right into this. Let me double check the other screen so I didn't miss anything. I want to welcome Mentalect. Hello, is it Mentalect you're looking for? Lionel Richie. Yes, thank you very much. And with that said, here we go. I'm going to start things off with this guy. And he is No BS Crypto. All right, I'll give him a like on his video. Gone ahead and rewound it. Let's go ahead and play this. Let me turn off some banners real quick in the process of doing so. Yeah, let's just take it off, give it some more attention. Yeah, gonna go ahead and play this. So smash that like. Here we go. And this comes from No BS Crypto. I have no issues with him. I respect him. Let's listen to this. Here we go.
I love Quant, and there's no doubt about that. I think anyone can go on the last few videos of my channel and see how much I post about Quant and how highly I talk of it to realize, okay, this guy definitely loves the project. But there is one big, dark, gloomy secret that I've wanted to kind of share for a very long time now, and I just don't know why a lot of people aren't talking about it. I do have a close and dear friend of mine who introduced me to this. I'm not going to mention who that was. And so I wanted to talk about that today, guys. I wanted to just be completely candid and actually mention to you my biggest concern I have with Quant. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I recently mentioned it on a live stream a couple of days ago. So I just kind of want to bring more clarity and light to the situation. Now, before I get anyone saying, hey, he's making this video to drop the price lower so he can buy more, or he's just trying to spread FUD, I want to stop you right there because I know I get these comments quite a bit on these sort of negative type of videos. And I want to say, guys, my channel is so small. I'm so insignificant right now in this massive market. If you're looking to point fingers at someone for a direct kind of reflection of what they posted online, then look at the big channels that get hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of views per video consistently. I'm lucky to get 5,000 views on some of my videos, guys. So I'm by no means trying to spread FUD. My literal goal with this channel is to just keep you well and truly informed, is to get you inside my brain so you know what's happening and when. And so I can obviously understand this problem with Quant inherently because I've done research on it. You guys can, check out the full videos of my breakdowns, right? So I got pretty deep with the tech, and obviously I've been in and around the project for a while now. So yeah, this is a serious issue. Now, what is the issue? Well, it's nothing too sexy to talk about, but it's a big one, okay? And it's kind of come to light more recently now, thanks to the recent developments with the big players in the world, particularly the central banks, right? So as we all know, Project Rosalind proved that, Quant is going to be a useful infrastructure project for any sort of, retail CBDC from the private sector to the public sector, back and forth, obviously. And it looks to be like they're actually going to be leveraged. So I think to myself, okay, so why does the public get to benefit from that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we as the cryptocurrency industry, which might I say already has a bad rap already, we're pretty much all known as degens and stupid. Why don't we get to buy the QNT token? Why don't we get to profit from it? Central banks don't want us to profit from jack squat. So why has this come about? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so as a central bank, as large institutions, they got to buy the QNT. Now, they don't have to buy the QNT token itself. They can just pay for, network resources or to create a map or to leverage the license through USD, through, stable coins, which is fantastic. But the equivalent of QNT is, bought up and taken out of circulation in that case, and then, settled on Ethereum, for example. But still, it begs the question, in my opinion, like, why do we actually need the QNT token? Why do they need it? Why couldn't they, hypothetically speaking, just create an internal token itself that everyone on the network says, yeah, well, this is obviously worth X amount, and we'll just create our own settlement network, our own private instance, right? Because all they use Ethereum for those who don't know, is a settlement layer, right? A secure public, settlement layer where everyone can see, hey, these bunch of transactions were now settled on this public infrastructure. So it's like, all transparent. But the way Quant's going, being used by central banks, they don't really need that. Okay. They can literally just create an internal currency that's used, or they can just say, we're going to use USD. We're just going to turn everything into USD. And so my concern is that they're going to abolish the smart contract on Ethereum. They're going to completely stray away from actually needing the QNT token in general, which obviously can happen because who are they dealing with? Large institutions, like, let's not get too conspiracy tinfoil hatty here, but essentially the elites, the New World Order, they're getting, the large banks, institutions, and central banks, aka governments, into the mix, and the largest central bank, if you will, of them all, the Bank of International Settlements. So it begs the question, why do they need the QNT token? And so all I can kind of rest upon is like, it can right now say we're using this as a transparency layer, as a secure transparency layer. I believe once it's truly adopted, they might not need it. Now, another thing I kind of hypothesized on the spot in my live stream was maybe they have a private network. Now, I don't think that they actually would create a private network, right? Other networks out there do have private instances, and that's a whole big conspiracy itself. But, it's actually possible with Quant. Do I think it's actually an issue? No, I think the whole point of Quant is it being a whole public network itself. The Overledger is able to be used by everyone. And as we've seen now, they recently come out with the Overledger in its, true final form. So yeah, I don't think that's an issue. My biggest issue is just moving away. And again, this was kind of brought up and mentioned to me by a very close friend of mine who is in the know a lot about Quant. And I kind of thought to myself, hang on, this is a very serious thing. It's different if they had their own layer one network, or they had created something that had proper infrastructure and there was actual nodes like you and I on that network, that kind of a bit like Bitcoin, if you will, or Ethereum, where they couldn't really take it down. And if they did, there'd be a whole big thing with that. But essentially, it's just a smart contract, right? They can run it down. And again, there's no real consequences if those big players say to them, hey, Quant, we're not going to charge you for doing this because ultimately you're helping us. So let's just, push it under the rug. So again, I'm not trying to spread FUD here. Let me just get that right off the rib. I'm literally just saying this just like I would be telling a close friend of mine behind the scenes. And I think you guys as QNT investors need to know. Now, am I selling any of my positions? No. I've known about this for a long, long, long time. The friend of mine mentioned it to me a while back now. And it's just something like we should do with every project, right? What do we do in any cryptocurrency we invest in? Well, as a good investor, as someone who should do their own due diligence, we need to poke holes in the ship, no matter what it is. I like to tell people I'm a pessimist, right? When it comes to investing, I want to find the problems. And actually, it was a little bit concerning to me because I know someone, I went home last night. It was a big day at work. It was like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. at night. And I had someone who was a close family friend, who is a close family friend, should I say, trying to preach a new cryptocurrency project who, by the way, knew nothing about crypto to my family. And essentially it was a bit concerning because upon literally hearing no more than a few sentences about what this project was, I was like, that's a very simple MLM, multi-level marketing scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a rug pull, right? Very easy to find. And I think this kind of comes back into the whole philosophy of like being a pessimist, looking for the problems, because then it's cross-transferable. Once you find issues in project A, you say, hey, project B, that's quite obvious. That's got some issues there. And now, every project can develop on things. I'm not trying to say that, projects can't better themselves. And that's the whole point of this industry. It's very new. And so therefore things are being tried and tested, and we have to battle test networks. And so that's fine. Everything's going to have to develop. But if there is potential, instances that things can go awry overnight, like in this case with Quant, then yeah, I feel like it's definitely something that we should all know about, because not a lot of people will know that, okay? People don't even realize that Quant is its own independent network running its things as fast as possible, right? Its own infrastructure, and it uses Ethereum for a settlement layer. People see it's an ERC20 token and just think, hey, it runs on Ethereum, okay? So yes, there's a lot of very levels of understanding of what quant is. There's the novelist who literally doesn't even know really what a blockchain is, right through to someone who knows a hell of a lot about everything and can easily spot things for what they are. So I'm just trying to get everyone up to speed, guys. Hopefully you have appreciated the no BS insight, if you will. Again, I think I just have to say this like 100 times in these videos. I'm not trying to move the price down. I don't really care if the price moves at all in any capacity, whether it's from me or not. I just want to get you guys the most informed and kind of create a discussion down below, just so that maybe you're a little bit aware of these things, and not just in Quant's case, but future cases for other projects as well. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you, and take good care of yourselves. Talk soon. Bye.
Okay, so a lot of you guys actually have seen this, video that's been released and so on. I've gotten some DMs from, I'll just say this, about a handful, roughly, from you guys. And, I thought we would give our own reaction to this. Now, I want to state this, right? I don't want the whole show to be focused on this. It may seem like it is so far. It is not. But my main thing is this. You guys know how I feel about QNT. You guys have known for the longest time, how I feel about some of the use cases. It doesn't even matter how I feel about some of the use cases. The use cases speak for itself. The research speaks for itself and so on. So instead of me just being here and trying to convince anybody, because I'm not trying to convince anybody on Jack Daily Squad because it's not financial advice, I thought instead of talking your ear off, I would just let, I guess you could say, a brief video from the head honcho speak for itself. Now, as we know, this was from an interview all the way back in 2018. And you may be like, wow, okay, I remember that. Gilbert Verdian had this particular 1 hour interview with this guy. You're going to recognize who he is here in a bit. Again, let's just let the video speak for itself and just leave it at that. All right, we're going to jump into that right now. And of course, thank you to Quant Papa for chopping it up. That way I didn't have to go through and, fast forward to certain parts and so on, so on and so forth. So let me just get that primed and ready to go. Yeah, let's get into this. Here we go. All right. Like I mentioned, you do remember this. And it says Quant will cater for all markets. I mean, you see the background and so on. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This is our reaction to that video from No BS Crypto. And again, I don't mean no disrespect to him and so on. I'm not trying to create any drama. I just that a lot of you guys have seen the video and you guys have voiced your concerns about like, Max, what do you think about this? Like, again, the fear, the uncertainty, that it did create a little bit of fear. It did create a little bit of uncertainty. It did create a little bit of doubt. You actually feel bullish, but now you have a little bit of doubt. Let's come back to, as I would say, reality, right? Eminem, come back to reality. Snap back to reality, right? All right, here we go. Let's blow this up. Sorry about that. It was already blown up. Here we go.
I'm still hearing people say, what's the purpose of the token? It's like, please just read the paper and understand what it can do. It's you need the token to access, the ecosystem. It use that, for Overledger. You need it for transactions and volume. And from a security perspective, nothing will run unless you have the tokens, and all the transactions have to be able to be signed and validated and encrypted using the keys and the quant token for security purposes.
Yes.
So without it, nothing works. And so people need to realize how, as you said, it's the keys to the ecosystem.
So think of us as a decentralized Google or a decentralized Apple that gives you access to an ecosystem with the keys. So everyone needs the keys.
Right.
And some people have said, oh, why did you build keys? You just should give them a license. And it doesn't work that way. From a security perspective, you need to have authentication and authorization. And the way to do that is through encryption and keys. And so we're doing it. We're doing something that's already been done, but in a new way.
Right. And so what we've got with our token is a way where we're enforcing security. And so the quant token is used to validate, verify, sign every transaction that goes through Overledger. From a security perspective, you need three things: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Without that, security fails. And so we enhance security with the way we've architected our operating system with the token. And we're also using that as a means of value to transfer between different networks. So can you imagine a stable coin, a digital asset of some sort that can travel between Ethereum networks, Bitcoin, Hyperledger, Quarter, and be able to be understood and transacted across different types of platforms? And we can do that with our technology. And so it's and we've got a secret that we're working on. It's something to do with transport. And so we're using our features and the technology in Overledger to be able to transport digital assets across multiple blockchains. And you pay transaction fees with the tokens as well. And so that's used for transactions. So it's kind of like Stellar, the way Stellar is operating, but then you're moving that digital asset with the token as well. So it's like a multi-utility token.
All right. Yeah. I mean, if you guys didn't see a lot of the research we've done for, God, man, I mean, I wouldn't say it's quite a year because it hasn't been, but, I'm not going to talk anybody's ear off about it. Again, thank you, Quant Papa, for just chopping that up, condensing it, getting to the point. There you have it. Gilbert Verdian, right? QNT, the actual token speaks for itself. And hopefully you guys enjoy that because, sometimes things have to be addressed. Every now and then something gets released and it does create, let's face it, some FUD. I mean, he, as in no BS crypto, he feels though that's not FUD, but I would say for the most part, some people look at it as like, yeah, technically that's FUD, but it's all right. I'm not saying for people to unfollow him. It's nothing like that. It's nothing dramatic, right? But he provided his 2 cents. We provide our own 2 cents. Anyway, on this next segment, we'll jump into, after we get into the comments, it's going to be some Jasmy, believe it or not, and rightfully so. So we'll get into that here in a bit. And then after that, I think we have some XRP. And then after that, I believe we have some XDC. I was going to do some XLM, but I did some the other day. I'm going to take more of a deeper dive into it, and that's going to take too long. And then I think last, we might have just a tad bit of Hedera for today's show. All right, smash that like if you haven't done so already. We're currently at 41 likes, so I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Turn some banners back on, all that good stuff, and then we'll get into some of you guys' comments here in a brief bit. Just making sure everything's back on. All right, so I think the last comment I read was from Edward Vinson. Elon Musk is saying hello to Squidward. Vaseline Dreamer, welcome back. Hey, everyone. Cool Cat Crypto says he loves that hot mustard sauce, comes on super strong. Then it's, I do like that mustard sauce too. I always tell them, give me a little bit of that mustard sauce in a Dixie cup. But yeah, if you put too much on, it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, you think of like, was it World War I? Some of that mustard gas and stuff like that. It just literally ignites your darn nostrils and your mouth, and it's just like start coughing like crazy. Yeah, you could put too much of it on. You just got to put just a little bit. I kind of like to put a little bit on, mix it in with some, I don't know, let's say it's like broccoli and beef or something like that, some of the brown sauce, a little sweet and sour sauce, and it kind of tames it down. Quant, right on. Yeah, right on. Excuse me. All right. Yes, glad to have Mentalect back. I already did the classic line of, why now, Richie? But it felt good to do it again. All right. See, only Mentalect and Boomer F and Sooner get like, just amazing greetings. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is. You could blame Larry for that. So, all right. Michael Montclair says, Mrs. Cho. Oh, what is this? Mrs. Cho from King Chile is watching you on CTN Live, and she's not happy. Oh, geez. All right. Yeah, her name could be Mrs. Cho. You never know. I'll tell you one thing though. Her name definitely isn't Mrs. Cha. That's right. All right. Corey Bibe. He states, hello, Max. Stellar's own Adam Meinhardt on the CFTC panel is ridiculously bullish. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, actually. Meinhardt, maybe you weren't around at that point. That's okay. Meinhardt will be rubbing elbows with the likes of BlackRock. I always get you. Is that what's going on? Like my terminology or the way I talk is starting to rub off on people. No pun intended. But yeah, rubbing elbows with the likes of BlackRock, JP Morgan, BUNY, Mellon, HSBC, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton. Again, we talk about the institutional money coming in. I mean, these are all the, I don't know. If you watch television show or movie, right? It's the prequel before the big, massive, epic tale of institutional money coming in for the utility run. That's the way I look at it. All right, everyone's welcome. Mentalect, thank you for doing that. AKA Candlestick Maker on Crypto Twitter, killing it with all the constant updates of Jasmine, XRP, you name it, man. Thank you so much for what you're doing for the community, Mentalect. It's very well appreciated. All right. Elon Musk says, 20, me know you a long time. I could say that because my third cousin's aunt's friend's brother, third cousin used to be married to a Chinese lady. Wow. That is interesting. Beef lo mein, orange chicken, chicken fried rice, Mongolian beef. Yeah, all that stuff is good, isn't it? This place, I saw the review, and basically speaking, this guy took a picture of it. He's like, look at this. 90% onions, green onions, and just regular white onions, and just a little bit of beef. I don't tell you, I ate some of that beef. Nobody's missing out on anything. Worst Chinese food I ever had in my life. And I've been in quite a few different Chinese places. San Francisco, Chinatown's amazing. LA Chinatown's, close second. In fact, for me personally, you guys may not believe it, but Portland, Oregon, if you look more into it, consistently ranks at the top as far as best cities for restaurants. You may think I'm making that up, but I'm not. Look into it. But yeah, even their Chinatown's really good too. All right. You here for hour. You go now. All right, that's true. All right, you unsub from No BS Crypto, according to Mentalect. This is, of course, before I played it. I want to state that I could tell because of timestamp, because of his FUD of QNT. There's a difference between, I guess, being objective of stuff, and I guess you could say FUD. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I'm getting a handful of people, and I mean this, right, reaching out to me and say, hey, Max, what do you think of this, man? That created what? That obviously created that fear, that uncertainty, and obviously the doubt, hence FUD. There's a difference between just being like, hey, you know what, guys, there's this thing we should look into, but I don't know. I don't want people to try to spin it more than it should be because it's not that big of a thing. But this is not us. We don't go after content creators. I just thought I'd share our own reaction right to that. All right, Elon Musk, come in at lunch and slow way down and hang out to dinner. That's true. Believer 72, he needs to shave that beard. Well, I have had this beard for a while, and sometimes more kept than other times, but it's a constant thing. Let's see, my friend. Well, looks like you did shave whatever beard you have on the top and bottom. And yeah, I too am bald. I'm half bald on top, but no, I'm not going to shave the beard. You want to know something? I will shave the beard completely. I'll make a deal with you, my friend. All right? And welcome, by the way. Where is your comment? Let me get it going. Where are we get it going? Where is this comment? Because I got to go all the way up. I will shave this beard for, you ready for it? Drum roll, please. 100 QNT, and I'll keep it off. All right? Anybody wants to join, donate towards the Max Shave His Beard Off and Keep It Off fund, I will do it for 100 QNT, but not for 1 QNT less. Actually, I probably would, but anyway. All right. Welcome to Believer 72. You have watched his vids. You're talking about No BS Crypto, but I'm not a fan. Oh, okay. At the end of the day, I mean, if you are, I mean, it's all right. I'm subscribed to him. I mean, anyway. Rashad Williams, what are your thoughts on Casper? Great project. It's part of one of 5 that are not part of my portfolio. They need to get into. If you wonder, well, why don't you just get into it, right? I mean, it's just so many things to begin with, right? Like close to 50 different things. I have to be very selective. But at Caspa, we do cover some of it. And I probably would start covering it more when I'm also personally invested into it. And that's going to be soon. All right. Boomer Officer says that dude has, oh God. Yeah, I'm not going to read that out loud. All right. Michael Montclair, you eat 10 minutes. I think I read this, right? You eat 10 minutes, and before you know it, you refill a water. And a minute later, fortune cookie and the check, get out now. All right. Anyway. You must use chopstick. No, I never gotten that. I've heard about that. I've never been to a place where they insisted. Maybe they frowned upon that, but I never experienced the place that insisted that I had to use a fork or a chopstick. Chopsticks. Josh, welcome back. Anyone else getting worried about this market? He has life savings in crypto, and he's well diversified. But if Ripple loses, the market will crash. Boomer says that dude must hang out with the jackass crew to have that. Oh God, here we go. All right. Then again, maybe Believer was referring to him shaving and not mine necessarily. I do need to go to the store and buy more hair dye. I don't like my gray coming in. But like I said, the offer is still there. 100 QT. And Max becomes accentuated fat face of crypto. That's what my dad basically is referred to me as, but that's okay. God bless my dad. He's third day in the hospital. They said that he's doing well, but his legs are all jacked up, man, and he's going to be there for a little while. And I told him, they want him to do physical therapy again, and I promised this. Someone said, you know what? You don't have to do that again because last time it didn't really help that much, and he hates it. So it'll probably be like home health or whatever, coming out, doing the wound care. It's just, I don't know. That's why even me, like, I think we're all guilty. I mean, unless, I think some of you guys, right? Nothing against you guys. Maybe you have type 1, type 2 diabetes. For me, like, I'm trying to cut down. I don't have diabetes, but I'm trying to cut down on my sugar. I drink some of the more, I want a little bit of flavor. I get tired just drinking water, right? But like, I'm trying to do more of the light stuff. But it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, for him, he comes home and it's like radical change, and I don't know, he's going to have it because he's got type 2 diabetes, got lymphedema. He never got diabetes until he got like in his 70s. He's almost 89. Like in September, he would be 89. All right, Believer, me not taking profits. What are we doing? What are we doing here? All of us, are we starting to all talk like the lady from the King Chili? Me not taking profit. I'm just kidding. All right, me not taking profits last time was terrible. Very difficult getting over that mistake. Well, can we just state this, right? So here's the thing, right? I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? It's not financial advice, but I just want to state this. And please, guys, smash that like if you haven't done so already. Let's try to get this out to a broader base. So my thing is this: always have a portfolio manager for you can have an idea. And why is it my switch screens? It just goes away from the comments. Give me a second. Let me pull this back up again. All right, there we go. See, that's not the comment though. That is not the comment. Let me go further down. I apologize. Give me a second. What do we do? Lose the comment? Nah, I guess so. All right. Yeah. That guy. I got it now. My bad. It's fine, but the offer's still there. Anybody wants the 200 Q or 100 QNT is there? All right. So portfolio manager. I did lose your comment. A whole flood of them came in, and it's okay. It's no worries. All right. What I'm trying to say is a good portfolio manager, right? So you talk about taking profits. If you follow projects that you're obsessed about and done your research in, and you're like, let's say you are like a borderline QNT maxi, but you have a portfolio of other things you're diversified in. My key thing is always to follow what your project that you're like passionate about, whether it is QNT or whatever the heck it is, XLM, XRP, and say to yourself, look, here's what happened in the previous, bull market. Here's some of my new goals. I get it. For some people, like I mentioned, there is a few cryptos I'm married to. That doesn't mean I'm saying as a content creator / influencer this is what everybody else has to do too. I will never be that person. I think that's irresponsible. I will not be that person. So, everybody has their own decision. Again, like I said, it's not financial advice, right? But I was saying for me personally, yes, there is a few I'm kind of married to. QNT is one of them and so on, because I look at in the future could earn like a nice yield, interest, you name it, right? Look kind of like a person wins the Powerball. Should they go out and spend towards that principle? No, right? If anything, try to live off of some of the interest, even if it's just a little bit. It's better than going against the principle. I think we can agree on that for the most part. So my thing is, like I'm heavily invested into like Filecoin, for instance. I know what my own personal goals are for Filecoin. So like if Filecoin goes to $10, I'm not cashing out my Filecoin. Now I did before on my original bag, right, for the power swap, and I achieved some of the goals I was wanting to attain. But now by reinvesting into, for instance, Filecoin, not only did I reacquire everything I wanted, or put into it originally, but I understand that with Filecoin, that's going to go to, I honestly think it's going to supersede its own previous all-time highs. So with that said, off that bag alone, that's like over, $250,000 on those particular ones. That's where I would take my profits. I don't know if I would be patient enough to wait for Filecoin to go to like, I don't know, let's just say 30% more than the previous all-time highs. So by being well diversified, you will have ones in which you will decide to, these are the ones, well, again, it's for me, not for you guys. I'm not saying you have to do it. If you choose to do this, then that's on you, right? Or look, I'm possibly marrying my QNT. I'm possibly marrying my XRP, my XLM. These top influencers, you guys know who they are. I won't mention their names. They will mention like, never marry your crypto. There is exceptions to the rule if it has real solid utility and you believe that these assets are part of the utility run, which I truly believe that these are part of the utility run. The difference is this, it's what they cover. Think about where their channels are built on, right? Like if the guys, you know where I'm going with this, right? I'm not going to mention the name, but if the whole channel is built on Shiba Inu, okay, then are we marrying our Shiba Inu? I would say I would agree with that. We wouldn't want to marry our Shiba Inu. I mean, this whole notion that SHIB, like how some people used to spin it years ago, 2+ years ago, that's going to go to a penny. I mean, that's just, I'm being honest, that's just not really realistic. Okay. But newcomers look at the math and they say Shiba Inu, I mean, I was even guilty of it, right? Long before I started studying blockchain and distributed ledger technologies. As a newcomer, I looked at it and I said, all right, I could buy over 1 billion of these. It's going to cost like, close to 8,000 or over 8,000, and so on. Don't get me wrong, at 11x, but imagine if I would have put my money in a project that instead of having it be an 11x or something like that, right? It was like 100x or 1,000x and so on, right? That's what we're really talking about. So in a utility run, there's going to be simply projects that make sense that I may, not you, I may, like I guess you could say, marry. And here's a perfect example of that. If we're talking about institutional money coming in at some point, right, with the clarity, what are they doing? I mean, think about it, guys. What are they doing? They are literally marrying the asset, are they not? So am I supposed to feel as though that I, as a retail trader, am not going to do that? So I just think that when it comes to certain people's channels and what they're built on what they, cause their channels to blast off and so on, they'll just blanket everything. Oh, don't marry any crypto. No, it's not that you don't marry any crypto. It depends on the particular project that you're covering. It maybe sound like it's, this is not rocket science, and I would agree with that. But that's just my own key take in regards to that. I'm going to go further down in the comments. Cool Cat says, go, PayPay. Yeah, I saw it's gotten up a little bit. That's good. Max, he's talking about Larry's beard now. Yeah. Larry's, actually he does a good job on his beard. I like his beard. I know it's okay, man. I wasn't giving you crap. I hope you didn't take it like I was giving you crap. But in reality, if you're wondering, because I don't mean no offense, because I too am in the part of the ball club. I am bald. I do wear the hat, and I've been informed it looks better. But you know what? You got a nice clean shave for the record, and you're clean cut, you know, and there's nothing wrong with it. If I had to go with the look, I'd probably go your style, you know, just all of it, and then the top as well. But I don't know. I've tried the whole thing of I guess you could say I shaved my head last Christmas in that particular time frame. I didn't like how it looked. Even half bald, I prefer that look compared to just being completely bald. For me, right? And before I became single, even my ex-girlfriend let me know that she liked that look better than being completely bald. So teach his own. All right. Pepe about to fool around and hit 20. Max, you could like Moses for all I care. For okay. All right. Oh man, transfer 1 million Jasmine to Max and he will shave his beard, mustache, and huevos. Wow. I can't believe you actually mentioned that. All right, that's okay. Read a couple more comments. We'll kick it back to what we have because we really need to. Diabetes. Yes, Wilford Brimley. Hey, welcome Inside. You know, bros, dudes, up soon, man. Yes, welcome back, Inside. All right, sugar is the new smoking. I'm with you on this, man. Like, it's just I've been doing more research about this and so on. Like the crystallization of your brain. You know, we talk about you know, type 1, type 2 diabetes. Like, there's a thing apparently they call it like type 3 diabetes is like Alzheimer's or dementia. And I saw this stuff underneath a microscope, and it's just like for people that have drank, you know, who do have, I guess you say dementia, Alzheimer's. It literally looks like just picture a bunch of like, you know, electrical cores that have been disconnected from their sockets. And it's because all that sugar has been crystallized on the brain. Now, don't get me wrong. You guys know I'm a fan of Coca-Cola. It's my favorite drink. I have been trying to cut down, and I have dramatically in that regard. I haven't quit it completely. You know what I mean? It's just, as the saying goes, I mean, that's something I love, but man, yeah, I got to cut down dramatically. And then they state that in order for you to have a cleanse or the decrystallization of all this stuff, right, where you can have the, you know, we talk in crypto, we talk about nodes. So literally these nodes to be reconnected, if you will, it takes 9 months of just real solid, like cut out all sugar. Now, as we know, it's almost impossible, but for the most part, right? Like, there's so much sugar in all our food and in your drinks and you name it. And just mention that like the only sugar you should technically have is like natural sugar. Like if I have watermelon, that has obviously natural sugar, but I'm not trying to make this health talk now. God knows I need to, you know, work on my own health problems. But yeah, in the 1930s to 50s, they actually thought smoking was good for you. They are now finding how bad that sugar is. It just seems like it's what's rapidly ruining people. Myself, a lot of other people. All right, we're going to go ahead and highlight that as a comment, as a bookmark. We're going to jump into what we have. And let's jump into this. All right, so on this segment, it's going to be Jasmine. So you've been waiting for some of that Jasmine content. Smash the like. Hopefully you guys enjoy the chopped up video of Jasmine for the Rice Crop Consortium. Right. All right. It's off to a great start. Let's jump into Brian Riley's tweet. Here it is. So I'm gonna come back into the frame. This guy, his name is Brian Riley. He states, excuse me. Hi, Jasmine family. He received a message from Hara on LinkedIn. I'm not a big fan of LinkedIn. I mean, there's other outlets, right? Some people are like, oh, you're nobody unless you have a profile on LinkedIn. Really? I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, I think there's other better outlets, but teach his own. He says, seems they have received a business proposal while at IVS Crypto 2023. That's to be expected, is it not? Why go to some of these conferences, showcase, for instance, Jasmine, and then not be approached by whoever? Now, I also want to state this. For whatever reason, I got another comment today. Guy asked in the comments on today's Jasmine, and it wasn't that big of a deep dive, right? I mean, this is just kind of like a short, chopped up video about the Rice Crop Consortium, right? And the comment stated, is Ripple and Stellar partnered with Jasmine? And the answer is no. They have. I never stated that they were partnered with Jasmine. What I have stated is that Ripple is a diamond sponsor of IVS Crypto 2023. Big difference. Okay. So back to this. What is this proposal? Do we know what it is yet? No, we do not. But details are to come. And of course, here's a screenshot that he's talking about. Actually, I'll just keep it up there because it's bigger that way. He says, sounds great. How is the IVS event going? Hope you post some pictures on it, But the nice thing is that Har is actually responding. It's like, some people feel as though that some of these devs or ambassadors, I mean, obviously he's not a dev, right? But they're not approachable, right? Well, you could fool me because Hara does seem to be getting more comfortable engaging with the community. He has, taken the constructive criticism instead of lashing out. He has reacted to that, has he not? Blue check mark, verifying he's real, more interactive with the community. Brian Ryan, good luck tomorrow. I know you will be speaking at the event. I mean, this was from Thursday, right? I think it was last week. But still, I mean, look at this. Thank you for your continued dedication and support. In fact, we received a very good proposal. It looks like we'll have a good business partnership. We would like to reach a proper agreement for the presentation. Now, before people say, oh, it is going to be Ripple. No, it most likely will not be Ripple. If it is Ripple, I will voluntarily shave my whole freaking face. Okay. I will. All right. I will put a hole through this wall, as Larry would say. Okay. I don't think it's going to be that, but I think it's going to be something significant, and that's what we're pointing out, right? So we'll have to find out what that is. This was reported, of course, yesterday. Okay. So we'll have to find out what that is. Let's jump to the next part of what we have, which is good stuff. And on this one, this is a circulating supply update. Now, of course, you guys all love these updates about the circulating supply, right? This is nothing super major, but, at the end of the day, it's worth pointing out, is it not? So this comes from Dip Metaverse. You should follow him. I'm telling you, you should follow him. Like myself, I mean, we cover a lot of the same projects. He covers QNT, Jasmine. He covers BTC. I mean, anyway, I don't really cover BTC. Every content creator kind of covers BTC. Let's be honest. XRP and ETH, right? All right. So with that said, here's the update. 60 million tokens from the deployer were added to the circulating supply a couple hours ago. How do we know that? Well, this was posted, earlier today, July 3rd. Circulating supply is now at, let me count this again. 369. Okay, so at 48,509,999,999. We have now ticked up to 97.02% of a total supply. Remember when we were at 95% a few months back? So it's gradually increasing, guys. Okay. There is 1.49 billion left in the deployer wallet. He's got screenshots of all this stuff. If you want to nerd it out, I guess I'll highlight it for a brief bit. I'll keep it at that, right? So you can verify this yourself, right, on Etherscan and so on. But yeah, cool stuff, right? It's continuously increasing. Give me just a second. I gotta drink this. When you say things like rice crop consortium, kind of messes up your voice. All right. So showing you guys that, we are now going to jump into this tab. And on this tab, this comes from 279. I have, thanked him for sharing some of his research. We follow each other. Constant great updates when it comes to Jasmine. Okay. So we talked about Bijit before. And it states the announcement has been made. The Eagle has landed. That's a great film. You ever seen, what is it? That movie that was Richard Burton, Clint Eastwood, 1969, where Eagles dare. If you love great World War II, commando style movies, that one's like cream of the crop, right? Guns of Navarone. Love those films, right? All right. Snap back to reality, right? So the CEO of Jasmy is currently in San Francisco, establishing connections and forming partnerships with the technology company that holds the latest technologies. Now, a while back, I pointed out a screenshot from many years ago, all right, about this office that they have, okay, because of not Kunitake Ando, but I believe it was Kazumasa Sato-san, right, his office. Says if you haven't heard about it, you must be uninformed. And if you overlook this amazing chance to invest in Jasmy, you will regret it. Again, not financial advice. Later, when its value rises significantly compared to the price of a cup of coffee. And again, this is why, so many of us pay attention to Jasmy, because we see where it's going, and it has one of the most impressive risk to reward ratios in all of crypto. I mean, if I'm going to be invested into Ripple's XRP, which I am, right, because I look at someday this is going to be worth like a ton of money per XRP, then I'm also going to recognize opportunities like Jasmy. Hence why, again, like I mentioned, you see a lot of people who are into XRP or also into Jasmy. Also, they hold XLM, right? They also hold QNT. You get the key thing? The key thing is utility, data, utility-driven projects that are part of this whole mix. As of now, it stands at 0.0043 as in the Jasmy token. Just 3 weeks ago, like he says, his previous message, it was at 0.0034. I think I put, I bought my, where I got to my new goal of over 1 million. I think I had to buy like an extra 500, 600,000 of these to attain that. I think I picked mine up at 0.0032 roughly. I don't know. It was basically Mr. Elon Muff, aka Mike Cornwell, sending me like a panic text like, Max, oh my gosh, you gotta, now's the time to get Jasmy. I agree with him. Loaded up on quite a few things, right? Algo as well, triple my position. But now it's reached 0.0043. I mean, not bad, right? Hopefully this is new support, and then we keep just going up. Some people maybe don't want that, right? Because you still want, you haven't reached your goals, you haven't accumulated, and rightfully so. I get where you're coming from. Here are the current partnerships and alliances of Jasmy in Asia and US from Bajit. I just got a DM, so that kind of scared me for a second because I got to double check my settings to make sure I'm not muted. I am not muted. All right. Okay, so yeah, let's blow this up. Here's some pictures. That's kind of a blurry picture, but nonetheless, I believe you see Kunitake Ando. God, I almost combined his name with Kazumasa Sato. So Kunitake Ando, Kazumasa Sato, right? It's next to him. Let's go to the next page. There's Kunitake Ando on the left, Kazumasa Sato in the middle, and then this other guy. I don't know who he is, but maybe you guys know who he is. And then, of course, here's some of the clients. I'll try to blow that up a little bit. All right. On this one, I never heard of Fellows, right? But, Qualcomm, yeah. Brother at your side, I've seen them. GMO, some of these other ones are focused in Asia. Kyocera, KJS. Cool stuff. All right. And then look at the URL from Bajit Group. And I also believe that Bajit Group, if I'm not mistaken, also is partnered up with Google. I'll have to double check that. I can show you guys. I have shown you guys that, I think, in a video. I may be confusing it with another one. I'm pretty sure it's Bajit. Anyway. All right, we're going to jump into a little bit more of what we have. Give me a second. Oh, here it is. Yes. Here's the other image. My bad. Yeah. This showcase, we're talking about diamond sponsors or, key, like Hedera with governing council, all those crucial partnerships. Let's blow this up. Also from Bajit Group. Yeah, I was right. I was all second guessing myself. It's like, at the end of the day, go with your gut, right? All right. Here's the key ones, guys. Google, all right? Sony, Panasonic, Toshiba. Metso's all right, Rakuten, NFT Data, Fujisoft. I mean, very, very impressive, but especially Google, Sony, Panasonic, Toshiba in my book. Okay. So there's that. Very cool stuff. To give you guys just a little bit more in regards to Jasmy, let's go to this tab instead. Hold on. Give me a second. Please smash that like again, like I was mentioning. All right. So on this one, again, a little bit more of a follow-up from 279. It says, following a 2-year wait and successful patent acquisitions, Jasmy has finally arrived in the United States. And I want to state this. If you are a newcomer to our channel, do yourself a favor, and I'm going to show you this real quick. You want to check out some of our deep dives. And the reason why you want to do that is because there's going to be FUDders. They're constantly are going to FUD Jasmy, probably more than any other crypto. I mean, if you thought there was bad QNT FUD, I'm telling you flat out, it's worse when it comes to Jasmy. Okay. So one of the key things I want to highlight, because we're on the topic of patents, right? Let me just scroll down to it. So a while back, I did this video. I'm pretty sure you guys see it on the screen. Let me just double check. Yep. It says Jasmy bombshell. And everything in the past, some people felt as though it was speculative. I did more of a deep dive. And as you can see right here, it's called Jasmy Bombshell Kazumasu Sato, the Sony patents. I show you proof, right, from an actual patent office, his many patents. Okay, so the Sony patents are crucial. They're huge. The partnership with Brigitte is huge, right? All these things are very big. So let's jump back to this because we're on the subject of these patents. Okay. So let me jump back to it. All right, there it is. And again, shout out to 279. And basically speaking, he talks about some of these key things. So in regards to Jasmy, they have, taken proactive measures and partnered with Avita to create their inaugural blockchain personal computer. They have, and you got to keep in mind, like it says, they currently have received a significant order of 20,000 units. And I also want to state this, that is not enough, okay, to thread the needle to have just insane, parabolic pumps. All right. I mean, selling 20,000 computers is not bad. All right. But we need to basically sell hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these things. And then have these people actually utilize the utility of the personal data lockers and so on. That would be absolutely tremendous. There's a guy in the comments from one of the recent videos basically stating that, don't you find it interesting that they're trying to, put out 107 million personal data lockers and so on because the country of Japan has 107 million. Maybe that's a coincidence, but it's a very, very interesting thing to point out, is it not? But my thing is, you can see that, by expanding into the United States, into Silicon Valley and so on, well, then obviously that's going to be a lot higher than 107 million. So all these things are worth pointing out. And my thing is this, you may get tired of hearing the concept of, these KPI targets and of $17 like by 2026 and so on. It sounds nuts. I understand, even from the outside view, it sounds crazy. But keep in mind, when you hear the expression "we're so early," again, this is a perfect example. 20,000 units is still very, very early. While it's worth noting, it's impressive, it's a milestone, that's a goal that they reached, it's not going to thread the needle. It's just not going to do that. You also got to keep in mind, just because it sold 20,000 units doesn't mean that everybody's taking advantage of monetizing their data with their PDL. Okay, so Jasmy possesses remarkable potential in the Western market, true, and should not be underestimated. It is crucial to pay attention to everything related to Jasmy. I agree, and missing out on this opportunity, could lead to regret. I mean, it's not financial advice, but you know what you're going to do with your own decisions, what's best for you, your family, and so on. What distinguishes Jasmy from other projects is their tenacity. And I love this part, and I know I'm reading a lot of this verbatim, but it's very, very true because, with all the FUD. So in the face of challenges and negative rumors, FUD, as they persistently continue their development and progress. Again, to me, This is why I feel as though like I like the idea that this project is headquartered in Japan. I love the idea that you have real Japanese people who have embraced this culture. Like this is ingrained into their system, if you will, into their blood. It's basically just that, a different way of looking at things. Like these are guys who are not going to give up just because they've been getting like a few punches in the mouth and so on. They could have just decided to like, oh, give in. Like this is too much. Like I don't like all the negative press, but no, they persevered. They kept moving forward. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. That's impressive. And every single turn of the FUD, if you will, you saw them show up to, for instance, another blockchain conference and then come out with announcements. So, hey, this is what we're doing. Hey, guess what? Here's these Avita, blockchain PCs and, powered by Jasmy, for instance. That's big stuff. That's worth paying attention to. The states, that there is, for instance, in contrast to many other projects that remain stagnant, like I was mentioning, right? Like, how many projects have not taken the blows and just fell over, right? Some of them are blatant rug pulls and so on, right? Jasmy, on the other hand, I feel like I'm about to sneeze, sorry, offers a global solution to worldwide problems, even gaining recognition from platforms like Coinbase. This is big stuff, which emphasizes the significance of users having control over their data instead of data companies. Now, we understand that with Coinbase, I mean, if we're talking about like the decentralization of anything, Coinbase doesn't really sound too decentralized, right? If anything, they're like one of the key centralized exchanges, right? But if they got recognition even from Coinbase, you got to, give credit where credit's due. That's big. It states that this emphasized the significance of users, again, like having control over their data instead of, big data companies like Facebook, Google, some of these other ones, right? But even with Google being partnered with Budget, you got to keep in mind, these guys that are part of Google are taking a different approach now on understanding where we're going. Why would that be? Because even a great big company like Google can recognize what, guys? The companies of the past, like your AOL Time Warners, some of these other companies in which they were the powerhouse players at the turn of the century. But what happened, right? They did not embrace innovation. They did not understand at that time of Web 1 going into Web 2, those basic concepts. Look at where those companies are now. Google, in my opinion, whether you're a fan of them and so on, you better believe, since they're a multi-billion, if not maybe, maybe someday they are a $1 trillion company. I don't know. You know what I mean? I had to double check that. But you better believe that they have smart enough people working over there that recognizes they have to be part of this shift for not just this new narrative, but they're got to be part of the new shift towards this new system of Web3. Why wouldn't they want to power with, team up, I should say, with a company like Budget? And again, Budget is well connected, literally, with the same guys from Sony and also Jasmy. So this approach can restore balance and minimize the need for costly data storage facilities in environmentally sensitive regions, such as the cold Arctic, where the heat generated by such facilities can have detrimental effects on the environment. Even Twitter has acknowledged the financial burden of data scrubbing on their platform. I mean, some people feel as though that because Elon Musk being over at Twitter, I mean, he's kind of like a moderate, if you will, or neutral, right? I mean, in the past, liberals embraced him, right? Oh, you're developing, these Tesla electronic vehicles and so on. You're obviously a liberal. Nope, he's not, right? Oh, well, then they didn't like that, right? But the point is, even that platform that we know, love, and use on a daily basis, especially me, I look at Twitter as being part of my crypto utility to my utility belt, if you will, right? It's a tool I have to use. If I'm gonna get community-driven news out to you guys, I have to use what's referred to as crypto Twitter. I have to use Reddit. I have to use other sources. I can't rely on mainstream news. If I did that, we wouldn't even have a show. We wouldn't have anything. So, massive data storage facilities. That's the bottom line, right? Where's Jasmine going to go with this? All right, before we wrap things up, I want to show you guys just a tad bit more in regards to Jasmine because there's a lot of things that are going on. Jasmine versus Apple APPL stock. Just think about this for perspective. Maybe some people don't like me doing this, but I have done it in regards to Apple, have I not, with that deep dive? Kunitake Ando sharing the stage with the late, great Steve Jobs of Apple. Let's jump back to Apple for just a brief moment. Their stock 20 years ago, around 23 cents. Today it's a staggering $183, right? And it's probably been way higher in the past and so on. Today for 10,000, you will get approximately 2.3 million Jasmine at 0.0043. Now just think about this perspective for a change. If and when KPIs are reached, and of course the Jasmine team has stated that it could very well reach those targets by 2026. Again, don't shoot the messenger. This is what they're stating. And some people can agree or disagree or think this is absolutely nuts. But think about this for a second. A lot of people thought BTC was nuts at $5 in 2010, and look how that turned out. So KPI, when it's reached, that's approximately 39 million USD. Never stop investing. You are early. Cited from U.S. News and World Report, which I believe is 100% digital. This used to be one of my dad's favorite magazines. Over the past 20 years, Apple's share have generated a total return of roughly 66,054% compared to a 349% total return for the S&P 500 during that stretch. Here's one of the key highlights. Those gains translate to a 38.4% compound annual growth rate for Apple compared to a 7.8% CAGR for the S&P 500 in that time. As a result, 10,000 in AAPL stock purchased 20 years ago would be worth about 6.62 million today. My God. Assuming reinvested dividends. Some people, feel as though, you have to remind me about some of these things. Okay. But still, it's big. You have to compare some things, maybe, of course, people, feel as though that this is a night and day difference. Jasmine compared to Apple. How dare you, Max? That's blasphemy. Well, there you go. Okay. My thing is, it's always worth pointing out. So glad to share this brief little segment of Jasmine with you guys. I'm going to get back in the comments finally, right? And let's read some more. Please smash that like. Let's see where we're at. I want to welcome Mr. Quite a few of you guys, actually. Just kind of going through the comments. I did see a super chat came in. So, where are we at? CTN Fitness Challenge. Yes, I could definitely use that. All right. DVR, check out his videos. He hacks and destroys phone scammers. Computer. Oh, I have seen his videos. They are hilarious. Yes, I agree. I think I'm subscribed to him. I'm not subscribed to him on CTN, but I'm subscribed to him on Maximus, DPG Maximus. Welcome, Selmo Fug. Glad to have you here again. I'm just looking at the other screen if you don't see me highlighting people's comments. All right, let me get to Elon Musk's super chat. Actually, I'll read this real quick. I was bald from chemo. That was enough for me. Yeah, it broke my heart when I saw my mom. She ended up, obviously being bald. And then when she was in remission, she was like so excited because she was able to get her hair back, and she was only able to grow it out like, I don't know. It just looked like she had a kind of like a short haircut. And then being told, oh, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Stanley, you're going to have to do chemo again. It's just like, oh my God, and then the constant complaining of, I don't mean this in a bad way, but, I'm sure like Mike or some of you other guys have been through it. I haven't. I just know what they talk about, right? That is basically, you want to enjoy certain foods, but it tastes like wood or it tastes like metal. When in the last couple months before my mom passed away, she just couldn't take it anymore. Her attitude was, I want to enjoy something. And she's just like, she's telling me, it's just like, I know that you get tired of doing this. And I'm like, no, it's okay. But I'll put it this way, all right? They got to know me really well at the chicken houses. Okay. And so for her, She just preferred Church's chicken for whatever reason. I mean, she could have had KFC or Popeyes or whatever. So the last 2 months of her life, I'm not kidding you, the only thing that tasted good for her was Church's chicken. And so I went to Church's chicken every single day because I wanted my mom to at least enjoy something tasty, you know, like she's passing away, you know, sucked. And so I don't know. It's just sorry that you had to go through that, man. And I'm glad that obviously you were able to turn things around. But I just want to state for you guys who have had cancer and stuff like that, like, I don't know. Only you know what you guys are going through, but I do have a tremendous amount of empathy through what you guys have gone through because of what I gone through with my own mom, my grandparents, friends, loved ones. I just hope to God that someday, like, there can be a legitimate cure, but I don't know. All right. Yeah, and I guess fitness is supposed to be the best way to fight cancer and some of these other things. So, all right. Well, I'm so sorry, Mr. Elon Musk. Let me get down to your super chat, my friend. All right, here we go. Max Taggies, LOL, short video ISO payments. All right, 7:35 p.m. How long ago was that? Not too long ago. 6 minutes delay. That's not too bad. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I want to read this as well before we get into your taggies. Jasmine Fireworks will come this year in honor of the 4th of July and his data crypto royalty. Grizzly Bear Greg, welcome back. Glitching the Matrix. Hopefully you're still cool with me calling you Grizzly Bear Greg. That's how I always remember you. Good evening. I hope everyone's doing well. Okay. So actually this is going to work out well, Mike, because I was planning to get to the XRP segment anyway. You know, so talking about ISO, this is going to work out perfect. Please smash that like, you guys. It really helps get the broadcast out. You may not believe that. You may think, oh, Max is full of crap. I don't know. Maybe you think I'm full of crap anyway. Just like watching this guy talk about stuff that you think he's full of crap about. But whatever the case be, all right, I am right about this. It does help really get the whole YouTube algorithm out, you know, to recommend the channel to more and more people. So if you have an ounce of respect for me or appreciate the content, again, we're not a sponsored channel. All we ask is you just hit the like. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. By all means, don't hit it if you're driving down the road. Like if you're Linois, shout out to Linois and some of the other truckers like Iron Mart Online. I don't know. There's some other guys that you guys listen to us as you drive down the road. And I really appreciate that. That tells me like you treat this kind of like a radio program, which is super cool. All right. Don't hit the like if you're driving down the road. I want to see you all live and thrive. All right. But we're going to jump into Mr. Elon Musk's taggies, as he would say. All right. So I remember one time Larry was doing a show and you said something to Larry about taggies and he was looking up a token. And oh my God. And then like your reaction to him was like, you're just dying laughing. And I was just like, oh my God, Larry, what the hell, man? Anyway. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into some of his taggies. Oh, this is one of the ones. All right. This is one of the ones that was part of the lineup anyway. All right. So that works. I could give you a refund if you want, because you didn't know that. I'm kidding. All right. So I guess I'll retweet. I'll technically retweet this twice. All right. But you didn't know. That's okay. All right. So he just says taggies. United States Clearinghouse presentation cites Ripple plus Stellar as solving cross-border payment challenges. Yes. I think this was Henry Brown who tagged me. I think I retweeted, but it's okay. Well, that's crazy. This is the first time I've ever seen Twitter recommend myself. You know how like they recommend other channels, like kind of YouTube recommends other channels. This is the first time I actually saw myself on this list, so that's cool. All right, we're gonna play this. Let's see what you guys think about this, right? But nice to talk about some of this ISO 222 stuff. We talked a lot about yesterday too. All right, here we go.
To frame this visual that you guys see here. This is, not specific to startups or VCs. These are established companies. They have cross-border payments has to be either a primary activity or a substantial revenue line. So you will see across these, traditional financial institutions that have a large segment in cross-border payment offerings, independently owned public companies that are non-financial institutions. You also see, emerging and innovative product lines such as, distributed ledger technologies or other VC-backed growth stage companies. What you see here is opportunity. So the more logos is, more organizations viewing cross-border payments as a ripe opportunity to modernize, to mature, to offer different value-added services for whatever region, they might be representing. So we sometimes view cross-border payments have been around for a really long time. They're tried and true, and that is true. But at the same time, our customer expectations are changing, choice is evolving, and what people might need now that we have kind of this global or globalization phenomenon, that needs to adapt and change all of the organizations out there. So I always find the logo slide interesting because it proves that where there are challenges and friction, there are many opportunities for all of us out.
Gets cut off, but gets to the point. What do you guys think of that? Thank you to Mr. Elon Musk. We'll read a few more comments. This is a great comment from Mentalect. Jasmine's low circulating supply could lead to a go for supply shock when any bullish catalyst arises. Yes. We talk about QNT supply shock. We should also pay attention to Jasmine in regards to supply shock. Thank you for pointing that out, Mentalect. Corey B-Bay says Mad Max Thunderdome. Yeah, some great films back in the day. Mel Gibson. $3 XLM 2025. Corey B-Bay. All right, this is where we're going to agree to disagree. Okay. I have it way, way, way higher than that, man. Blowing that out of the absolute park. Not financial advice, but I'm not the only one who feels that way. And if you don't believe me, ask some of our loyal, regular attendees, members of CTN, and so on. Guys, how about this? If you got a moment to take, you typed a lot of things in the chat. Type in the chat. What do you think XLM will be as far as price, or you can even do market cap if you want, or you do both, by 2025. All right. 60 people will buy $1 million each. No big. It is no biggie, but you know what? We're just creeping up more and more higher, right, to that 100% circulating supply for Jasmine. So we're at 97 point something percent. At some point, we'll be at 100%. That's big. I mean, you think of how many projects don't even have close to like 20% circulating supply out there, right, where the total supply is put into the circulation and so on. I don't know. I think it's a big deal. But yeah, I mean, your statement, you're right about that. I mean, 60 people could literally just buy $1 million piece. I mean, that would be what, $4,400 times 60. I mean, come on. I mean, it sounds like a lot of money, but it's not. That Jasmine algorithm is interesting, almost foolproof, I would say. All right. Yep. See, even Boomer F. Consumer says way higher. Look at GS. Corey, $1,700. I mean, I have it like a lot higher than that as well. But I mean, come on. I mean, we see XLM go to $1,700. I mean, I think a lot of people would probably take some profits. And this comes, this validates the whole concept of not just having one bag for one thing. Maybe having 3 bags, like one for once you get to these goals, taking some profits, another bag for, for instance, like your moonshot bags, and, a third one for, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Some people do the leverage and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to do it, but there's some people that do. Shout out to Elon Musk. All right. We're going to get into a little bit more of what we have. I should say a little bit more. We have a lot more. So we talked a lot about Jasmine, obviously. We're going to jump into this. This is from Cypress Domanicore, with Cypress Superior Trading. A lot of you guys follow him, right? I mean, this guy's smart, man. He knows his stuff. So let's go ahead and share some of his content. Give him a follow if you haven't done so already. All right. He says, I'm just going to leave this here for all of you to decide. Let's just get right into it. This is good stuff. If Mike Cornwell is tagging me on what he just showed me, well, what about this? Yeah. What about it? All right. Smash that like. Here we go.
This fundamental out that just got released. July 2nd, 2023, Bitcoin price could potentially shadow $310,000. Mr. Wu tells his million Twitter followers that if 8 financial institutions put up 5% of their assets under management, that Bitcoin would hover around $310,000. So I want to throw out the question real fast, okay? Because do y'all remember when I pieced together the connections between Ripple and Finastra? Finastra becoming the 3rd largest fintech company back in 2017, and how they have access to over 8,600 institutions, 200 of those institutions having direct access to Fusion digital banking 200. And if they're saying Bitcoin, right, with 8 financial institutions can hover at around $310,000, let me show you guys again. Remember that these banking institutions through RippleNet, they do in fact have access to XRP. Now, it's not guaranteed that they will utilize XRP, but over 200 financial institutions have access to Fusion digital banking. And they're saying that only 8 financial institutions can drive Bitcoin price up to $310,000. So imagine if the 200 financial institutions, after regulatory clarity gets put in place for the digital asset XRP that have access to Finastra's Fusion service, decides to utilize XRP, ask yourself the question again, this is very speculative, but what would happen to the price? And we already know that all of these individuals over here as well, outside of those financial institutions, also have direct access to Fusion through Finastra, okay? And we know right here, RippleNet members can source on-demand liquidity for cross-border payments using XRP. Now, I want to take your attention to a central bank document that was presented by Mr. Man on his Twitter page. And it even says right here, alternative connectivity services, Ripple Connect, use of crypto assets as a bridge currency, Ripple liquidity, right there, Ripple liquidity, right? Very interesting. If we scroll up here, we know, again, this was put out by central bankers, May 2021. Even further, PNC, you guys remember going live on real-time payments with Finastra? Okay, well, if we head over to that fundamental that came out all the way back in 2019, what do they say right down here? As one of the 10 largest banks in the country, the launch of PNC is a big step for RippleNet. Why? Because again, Ripple previously separated its Xcurrent and Xrapid offerings, but now members of RippleNet can use just one service or both, which does give them direct access to its digital asset, XRP. So think about it. If XRP does get clarity, and again, this is all very speculative, and individuals are predicting that Bitcoin with 8 institutions can hit 310,000, and we now know that through Finastra, Fusion Digital Banking, 200 financial institutions have access to RippleNet that gives them access to XRP. You guys ask yourself the question, what could potentially happen in the future? It's again, just a general question, piecing some information and parts of the puzzle together for you guys. Many blessings. This is not financial advice. Take some things into consideration. Again, we're starting to see the shift.
Cypress to Madcore is right. We are literally seeing the shift. I mean, I've been talking about this for at least a couple weeks. Like the whole narrative, you literally see it changing before your eyes. I mean, you see some of the, you know, the top players that used to be on the other side of the thing, right? You know, like the guys that are not on board with some of the things we've been talking about for the longest time, and like that narrative shifting. I'm telling you flat out, the narrative is absolutely shifting. And so, you know, as the saying goes, you can't beat them, join them. You're literally seeing that. So what does this mean from here? Are we literally going to, you know, the other phase, going from accumulation phase to, you know, this run up towards markup? I mean, you can still make money in the markup phase, but it's just like, you know, why would you want to catch a candle? You know, why would you want to purchase as that green candle is going up, right? That's my main thing. And let me show you guys another thing real quick before we jump more into this outline. I think I tweeted this from my phone the other day, and so I want to see if it pulled up the right way. I'm going to go through this list real quick. I could have sworn I shared this, and this is good stuff. I think it might have been like last night and so on. Hopefully it went through. If it didn't go through, I'm actually going to be kind of like, what the heck, you know? Wondering what the heck happened. Oh, here it is. It did go through, and some of you guys did like it. So let me share this real quick. This is good stuff. All right. So we talk about accumulation phase, where we're going, the narrative shifting, and so on. Here's part of what I'm talking about in that regard. I did tweet this out last, or you know, late last night, right? Early this morning. So I say, this is from me, right? Pay attention to what was mentioned here and apply it to crypto. Now the video courses are from me. This is a short clip. Think about what is mentioned here. You may have already seen this. You know, was it Aussie Life? You may be watching right now. Aussie Life, I don't know. Good guy. He says it was so obvious the market was dumped on referring to me. Some big players had this plan out for some time. He's thinking, he hasn't caught much of the show last few days. That's okay. He works bent over sideways. Hope I haven't missed too much. All right. I want to show you guys this because this basically, a lot of people feel like this is exactly what happened. Like you guys talk about a shakeout. Watch this. It says how George Soros really became a billionaire. Let me blow this up. All right. And double check a couple settings. Yep, we're good. Let's play this.
The oldest trick in the book. If you want to buy a lot of something, what do? You shit on it. Right? When George Soros wanted to corner the market in copper, right? What did he do? He didn't go out and buy a bunch of copper. He went out and sold a bunch of copper and spread rumors that copper was going to zero. Then you swoop in and buy a whole bunch after the price collapses. That's what I think went on last year.
Now, it just seems so basic and to the point, right? Absolutely sounds so basic and to the point. Does it not? Absolutely, right? Now, check this out. And you know where I'm going to go with this. Hold on a second. Type this in on, yeah, here we go. Yeah. All right. So pardon the, pardon this guy's language, okay? But it's necessary for it to play. At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, we try to be family friendly, but at the same time, I mean, come on, like, are we really lining up all our little tiny, toddlers and children around the television to watch an adult rated, or not adult rated, but adult themed program? Come on. All right. A lot worse things to mention on television, right? Let's not get into that. But all right. Let's play this. I think I have it shared. I got to double check. No, I don't. So good thing I double checked. Here it is. You guys are familiar with this guy. I'm not a big fan of him, but I don't know. Teach his own. Dan Pena. Listen to this.
It is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
In a microsecond. Whoop, like that. 99.999% of the people that own Bitcoin are fucking morons. Retarded imbeciles. That's just it. Some of you in this room fall into that category. If you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you fucking could to sell it. I know. 100%. You know who's behind Bitcoin? Putin. It's a Ruski conspiracy to fuck up the American economy and the world. It's a long-range plan he started 7-8 years ago. He's going to see the demise of the Western financial world while he's still the head of Russia. And he's already hacked into the brains of all the morons. YouTubers. He's stupid. And that's why he's fucking poor. This is why you're fucking poor. This is why the cocksuckers watching this on YouTube are so fucking... That's what you are financially. You don't know a fucking thing. So when I tell you, use Skype without a picture, I fucking mean it. Now you see, you all think I'm bullshitting when I'm saying this. I'm telling you the fucking truth, you fucking monkeys. I've been doing this 50 fucking years. If you're a Mongoloid, if you're the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you know, and financially, all of you are. One of the great calls I made is a year ago when Bitfuck was at $19,600. I said, it's over. Smart money, sell half, keep half. My mentees lost billions because nobody listened to me. We got some Bitfucks in there, I can tell. Too bad. Shows you the stupidity. Shows you the stupidity. You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero. Zero. When it comes out, zero. But I'm your last bet, kids. I'm it or a bullet in your head. So metaphorically speaking, you ought to put a gun in your motherfucking head. You got a nice fat head, a black head. You got to jam it up to the roof of your mouth. No bull. They can't even kill themselves right. Now, you realize laughing and smiling is a coping mechanism for insecurity, you fucking idiot? You have never met anybody like me, and you probably never will, because you're a cunt. Where's the vagina cream? I give you this vagina cream so you can rub it on your snatch, because you're all cunt. And a microsecond, whoop, like that.
All right. Excuse the constant F-bombs and so on. It's not something we traditionally do, but for the reasons of making a great outline, I want you to hear me out on this. So I'm not obviously advocating for promoting communism, socialism, and so on. God, no, of course not. But where I have real issues with Dan Pena as a fellow educator and so on, some of you guys who watch the show are also teachers, instructors, and so on, right? Shout out to Sobo and maybe a couple of you other guys, I don't know. But the key thing is this. Karl Marx, right? The Communist Manifesto. In that manifesto, it talks about, for instance, was it back in, oh my God, well over 100 years ago, 120 years ago or so. So in Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, it talks about, the central banks and having that type of control. So, he mentions Putin. If you knew who was behind Bitcoin, you would absolutely run, or whatever he says. Worse to that effect. You would not have any part of it, and so on. This is where I have real conflicting issues with Dan Pena's statements. Okay, because last I checked, Putin is all about control. Communism is all about control. So if it's all about control, and Putin is behind this thing that's all about the decentralization, freedom, if you will, to not have control, well, it's not rocket science. Doesn't that seem very contradicting, to say the least? I'm not saying that Dan Pena has never looked into some of these things. And maybe, he will say something like, obviously we would never meet, but, like, I'm an effing moron because, it's all, he is the man behind the Iron Curtain, as the saying would go. You know how many times, Russia's been referred to as, these guys behind the Iron Curtain and so on. But my key thing is, again, is so contradicting. If we're talking about true decentralization, then I'm sorry to say, but Putin is not the guy, the head honcho, Satoshi Nakamoto, for crying out loud, trying to promote decentralization. He himself, and especially his party, are all about control and so on. So that concludes that part. We do obviously have some more in regards to all this. Thought I would share that with you guys. Going to go ahead and kick it into the comments for a brief bit. Love it, according to Corey Bibe. He states, hopefully $5. I mean, yeah, I get where you're coming from, man. But I mean, my thing is, I'm not into Stellar XLM for $5. But I get it. Some people are going to obviously take their profits, and people got to do what they got to do. Sorry, I'm looking at the other screen trying to put some stuff back on. But that's just the way I look at it. And I'm not the only one that looks at it that way. All right, Max, what are your thoughts on VeChain? So I'm not going to be like the bearer of bad news or anything like that. I have nothing against VeChain. Other people have pointed this out, and I don't think it's actually too fair, but they're going to point this out. And that basically is, hey, look what happened in the previous bull market with VeChain. With VeChain, basically speaking, the rest of the market did very, very well, late 2021, and VeChain wasn't part of that mix. Okay, what's the main problem? The main problem is just like any other type of cryptocurrency that has utility. Do you have your main utility layer? Okay, during that time, I would say the answer would be no. They're still developing, and last I've heard, they haven't quite gotten to some of these things that they're wishing to achieve, which is, think about how many times people have explained to their friend or family or so on, hey, VeChain, this is awesome. Being able to have some kind of a mechanism, if you will, to scan like a barcode on, from some manufacturing distribution center or whatever, that proves that you really truly have a Louis Vuitton bag or a real Rolex or real Air Jordans or you name it, right? Being able to solve a problem that exists, especially with the United States and China, and that is basically like the black market and so on, selling fake items, if you will, right? Last I seen, this has been something that they've been trying to, that's one of their main utility layers that hasn't been accomplished. Now, some people will also say, well, they do still do a tremendous lot of other things for supply chain, and I get where you're coming from. My thing is this: I'm not complaining about that at all. I do recognize there's many projects where they're building and still trying to accomplish some of these things. And at the same time, it's like, well, at these prices, right? I think on VeChain, let me double check this real quick. Are we still in the, I don't know, 1.5 cent range? No, we're not. We're now, it's up 12% on the week. So it did dip down into the 1.7 range, 0.017. Now it's over 2 cents. And of course, we don't want to acquire these digital assets when everything's pumped up really high. But there's been a lot of sideways consolidation. I'm not contradicting myself because I do recognize that sideways consolidation strengthens the assets, and you may very well see this thing go have a crazy pump in a true bull run. I myself, I need to do a better job of paying more closer attention to it. Like, are they really, did they finally, build out that utility layer that they've been promising for a few years? And if that's the case, then everybody that came into VeChain and recognized, well under 2 cents and accumulated or added more to the bag, you guys are going to be more than great. I don't have anything against VeChain. My thing is this: I don't have any VeChain, and so I had more than enough opportunities to get into it years ago and even recently, and I may very well get into it more recently. I need to find some of that, I don't know, juicy info that's going to do it for me. For me right now, I'm trying to concentrate, for me personally, getting into like maybe 5 more things, possibly. Maybe out of those 5, I just do like 2 more. I think I'm gonna get into ordinals. I think I'm gonna get into Caspa. Right, those are the top 2 of the 5 I'm thinking of. But that's just where it's at for me. I mean, I'm ready to reinvest it into crypto. Okay, of the the 100. Turning 110,000, or excuse me, turning 10,000, 120,000, it's 110,000 profit in 2021. Out of that, I put like 75K reinvest in the crypto. So I mean, like, I don't really have a lot that I originally had. So I have to be very, very, very extremely selective on this. And then on top of that, I still need to hit some of my goals for when I want to stack. Some of them I did, some I didn't. So is VeChain really going to be worth it to me to get in? I don't know. If it's worth it to you because you stand behind it 100%, we could apply this towards anything, right? Some of you guys are like gung-ho about renders. Some of you guys are gung-ho about, I don't know, Polkadot, for instance, or, I'm just throwing out examples, or Morpheus Network, or all sorts of things that we talk about, right? We can go on and on about some of this stuff. All right, please smash the like. But, I have nothing against VeChain. I hope you didn't take that as FUD, because I don't consider it FUD at all. I do think it's a good solid project, but there's a lot of good solid projects. And like what I mentioned also to you guys consistently, last time I added it up, it ranged from anywhere from $24,000 to $28,000. If I truly decide to get into all the stuff that we talk about here, whether it's VeChain, Render, you name it, all these ones are on my list. I did add that up, and that ranges because of how the market goes. It's literally about 24 to 28, maybe even high as 30,000 now, because we've had pumps. I'm not willing to put another 30,000 into ones I'm not into. But what I am willing to do is recognizing, like, if there's crashes, I seize that as opportunities in DCAing more or stacking more on what I have. So for me personally, like, I'm putting more of my focus on QNT, XLM, XDC, obviously XRP. I still have new goals for Jasmine H bar, especially. Like I have new goals for H bar. Some of my goals I've reached, and it's just gravy. Like XRP is obviously anything moving forward is just gravy. XLM, I haven't reached my goals on XLM, but once I do, which will be soon, that's gonna be gravy as well. XDC, honestly, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually at my basic goals for XDC, but I mean, like, XDC is just kind of a weird thing when it comes to your goals. It's just like, do we ever, like, Salamander, he's probably not here tonight, but like, shout out to him. He has well over 1 million XDC. He's made that public, right? And that's okay. Even with that said, I mean, am I supposed to believe that he's still satisfied with 1 million? I mean, technically, like, we talk about our greed index, like, where does that go to the next level, You have to have a moonshot bag. All right, GS is in the house. Scott Hill. Wow. Sup, Max, a CTN. All right. Thanks for being here, Scott Hill. All I got to say is just try to, keep it clean. Try not to go crazy. Okay. I mean, I do appreciate you for being here. Thank you for commenting. I did hear about the whole thing in regards to, the 2-bit stream. And I actually reviewed some of that. My God. All I can say is just please, keep it respectful. Keep it clean. I know that you appreciate the content. I think in the past you said that if I'm on, you just watch, but you are commenting. And I do thank you for commenting. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, welcome, Scott Hill. All right. GSXLM to 17K. Cool. I'll be rich. Dingy. Max, remember one of your Jasmine videos? Someone commented Jasmine to 1,010. Yeah, I did see that. I was like, man, some people criticizing me because I said that, QNT will be the first $1 million coin by 2030. I could be wrong, right? I mean, like, I'm not the guy who comes on camera every day and says I'm right about everything, right? No, I'm not that guy. Definitely not that guy. But I could be wrong. But my thing is, if people thought that I was eccentric by saying $1 million coin by 2030, this one might take the cake, right? Because we know how this is a perfect case where I think the guy's just looking at the coin and he's dreaming. And he's not understanding how market cap works out. And let's face it, man, Dingy. I mean, there's people new to all this, and that's just the way I look at it. I mean, but that's okay. Let him dream. I'm glad he's a supporter of Jasmine. I mean, I how about this? I'm sure I'm not the only guy, right? When we're new to crypto and didn't understand market cap and how it adds some of the stuff up basically. It's kind of like me with Shiba Inu when I first came in, right? I'm not thinking about market cap and all this stuff. I'm thinking of like, I'm gonna buy 1 billion of these things, and this thing goes to a penny. I'm worth $10 million. That's the way I'm looking at it, right? If this thing goes to half a penny, I'm worth $1 million. Well, not really. I mean, there's taxes, but you get my point. There's so many people who do that, man, and that's again, those are the apes that come fresh off the Robin Hood boat, as the saying goes. All right, Corey B-Bay. He hopes that 1,700 per XLM happens. Wow, yeah, and then some. I even have it higher than that, but it's one of those things. Let me see how I'm doing on the time real quick. Got to pick up this dude from his job as a favor. Anyway. All right. If it goes to 1,700, I could as well fly to 5K. Very true. GS 1,700 correction. GS also says XLM is far superior to ETH. It is. ETH needs to go bye-bye to make way. And, how about this, right? Can we just mention this for a brief moment? We talked about this yesterday and other days. Like Richard Common Sense Crypto, he's right. There's other content creators, they're right on this because they pay attention. They read up about some of this stuff. And I think some of you guys read up about some of this stuff. So if you are not like research savvy or you haven't done your homework on Sorbonne, I'm telling you flat out, if we're going to talk about Ethereum and we're going to talk about, for instance, like this comment right here, XLM is far superior to ETH. How XLM will be far superior with ETH, I'm telling you flat out, it is through Sorbonne. Okay. So anytime there's a Sorbonne update, you need to pay attention to that. All right. And of course, we'll keep following. I mean, there's a lot of things that XLM has to offer, projects built on, Stellar, other than obviously Sorbonne. The Sorbonne is literally like one of the most impressive projects they have going on right now. Menelik, when asteroid miners need to get paid off, XLM is slated to be the means of payment. I'm cool with that. Maybe that's why they call it Stellar for a reason. All right, Crypto Jedi. Brittany's got the cool shades on. Crypto Jedi, 12,800 XLM at $1,700 equals 21,760,000. No mamas. Woohoo! So you basically, what you're saying is that you do have 12,800 XLM. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. So, I mean, some content creators, I think maybe even Crypto John, right? Shout out to him, right? Follow Crypto John. Good guy. I like that guy. Really like Crypto John. A lot of content creators I listen to. I listen to him. I enjoy his videos. I think he's a good guy. He obviously watches the show. That helps too. But even if you didn't watch the show, I just think he's a nice guy. He's very, he speaks articulated. He's just a cool guy. All right. I could have sworn maybe a month ago he did a video and it mentioned like 3 cryptos, and one of them was XLM, and like your goals to try to attain, like how much XLM do you need to have to be a millionaire. Maybe even Richard Common Sense Crypto mentioned this and so on. So like for instance with QNT, we talk about like have a minimum of 10, right? Not financial advice, but that's just a lot of people are doing that. But with XLM, like it gets consistently mentioned, like 10,000 XLM. These are some great goals, and some of these prices, even though it's above 10 cents now, still a bargain. So that's cool stuff. I mean, it seems like you probably obviously hit some of these goals. Menelex says Jasmine staking will be another catalyst. Yeah, but it's all about when you have it staked and so on. I mean, if we're about to approach the height of a bull run, I don't want my Jasmine locked up, but for those people who have, this is where we talk about like, having like 2 or 3 bags, one for taking your profits, I guess you could say, to become half a millionaire or a millionaire, depending on how big of a bag you have, right? We all have different size bags. And then the other one in which, all right, the market's going the other way, maybe it becomes bearish, excuse me. Oh, God, you know how it can go. And so with that said, people will start staking again, right? But I'm not going to be staking right before like, all-time highs of the markup period. Jasmine is an AI metaverse payment data security digital ID play all in one coin. Jedi, XRP, XLM, XBAR. Wow. My eyes weren't going blurry, just kind of read that wrong. Are his long-term plays. Those are all great ones. That guy's language is funny. It's rude. It's obnoxious, to say the least. I mean, anyway. Dan Pena, salty. Yeah, I'm not going to say that either. All right. Edward Vincent says, I respect that old effer's ability to speak freely. All right. Corey Bebe. Oh, that Crypto Jedi is 21.7 million. Let that sink in. Hells yeah. Very cool stuff. Someone Fuzz states, mark his words when he says what you are going to tell your grandkids. Yeah. Yeah, what you tell your grandkids is that you didn't listen to this guy. I mean, that's why you point out some of these things. It's literally a shakeout. You don't know who Dan Payne is connected to. Is he part of, like, are some of his best friends all part of the 1%, and they're just trying to do a shakeout to scare everybody because they want to buy at distressed levels? Of course, that's what's going on. Tell everybody it's going to zero. Tell them all a lie. Shake out the whole thing. And some people say, well, his words aren't enough to, thread the needle. We don't know that, but I do know that he's a hell of a lot bigger content or influencer than I am. So I would agree with that. I mean, we're a small channel. The Russians, the bad guys again. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, when in doubt, we'll just blame Russia. Do they do the same thing to us? Probably. I don't know. You need XRP to go to 589. We all do. That dude don't know his name is a XRP maxi. Pretty much. All right, we'll read a couple more comments. Or more than a couple. I need Bone to go to 300. Says Crypto Jedi. GT, there's a small chance that old guy is right, though, about long-term play to destroy U.S. with Bitcoin, but highly unlikely. There's always a small chance in anything, but I get where you come from. I mean, that's good that you're, we all should be open-minded, not closed-minded. All right. It's funny how we think we know Putin. So you're behind him? Do you feel as though that like he is? I don't mean this disrespectfully, Edward, because I respected you, but I mean, do you feel as though that's where this small chance is? It's like we think we know Putin. He is the guy. Like, do you believe he's the guy? I don't know. Maybe we all have different opinions about that. He should to go to that. I wouldn't mind if it goes to that. If it goes to that, then, oh man, what will happen? Let me see a second. Let me see how much that will be for me. Let me have this up real quick. Times. Yeah, I'm not complaining about that. That'd be basically like 123.5 million or something like that. Excuse me, 123,000, not million, for me. I wouldn't complain. Maybe I finally just get out of it. I don't know, because I think the time, I think there's going to come a time in which SHIB is going to run out, but I could be wrong. All right, we're going to see what other comments we have here. 10,000 XTC is a ton if you hodl. It is. Yeah. Even Rich at Common Sense Crypto, you mentioned like try to make that your minimum. It's just all dependent on how long you hold it. You sold your VeChain to get some more XLM. Says Dingy Mo. The Crypto Jedi only have 36 million. And let's see, Rivers in the house. You love some XLM. All right, I'm just gonna go further down. Let's see what else we got. River again is in the house. All right. Let me see what we got. I'll read this from Magic Power. Digitalization will increase extremely. It's the future. Crypto prices will then be determined by application that will pull prices up sharply. Okay. All right, let's jump into the next part what we have, because we're about at the 2 hours, 6 minute mark. I did read a lot of comments. All right, so let's jump into what we have. And this part is a little bit more in regards to Ripple's XRP. Let's go ahead and present this. All right. This comes from 801 XRP. And let me come back into the frame for a brief moment. On this one, and smash the like, this is from Fam Morton Beck, the head of the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub in Switzerland, speaking about the partnership between Switzerland and the Bank of International Settlements and Project Mariana. So there's so many projects, right? Project Hamilton, Project Icebreaker, Project Rosalind, now a new project, Project Mariana. Look at this quote. We are basically trying to build AMM for CBDC, and hopefully that will help speed up and make cross-border payments cheaper. 3 minutes, smash the like. Here we go.
Central bank digital currencies. It also reflects the priorities of G20 countries and central banks to improve cross-border payments. What does this entail?
Well, it entails a lot of things, but first, there's a lot of things that works well in payments. One is that now many jurisdictions have what is known as instant or fast payment systems where you can pay each other instantly. Also, since the pandemic, we have seen the spread of contactless payments throughout economies. But there's still one big remaining pain point in payments, and that's cross-border payments. And so recently, or a couple of years ago, the G20 decided that enough is enough and made it a high priority to actually improve cross-border payments, making them cheaper, faster, and more transparent. And so the BIS Innovation Hub is trying to do its part by trying to figure out where technology or innovation can move things forward. And we have a couple of projects where we are doing that.
Well, let's talk about one of the projects, which is a current project called Mariana, a joint proof of concept between Eurosystem, the BIS Innovation Hub, Bank of France, Monetary Authority of Singapore, and the Swiss National Bank. And the first results will be presented next week at Point Zero Forum in Zurich. What exactly we're examining there?
Well, so one of the big challenges in any solution to cross-border payments is how you convert from one currency to the other. Mariana is a super exciting project, and actually, I think demonstrate why it's awesome to work in the Innovation Hub, in that we're working with the latest technologies, newest ideas in finance, and together with colleagues, great colleagues around the world. What Mariana is doing is really that it's looking to the future. So it envisions a future state of the world where central banks have issued central bank digital currencies, and then ask a very simple question of how you can actually convert from one currency to the other.
How do you do that?
Well, here we borrow from decentralized finance, or DeFi. And so in DeFi, when you want to go from one coin to another coin, you often use something called an automated market maker. And what we're trying to do in Project Mariana is to replicate this idea in a world with CBDC. So we're basically trying to build a automated market maker for central bank digital currencies. And hopefully that can then help speed up and make cross-border payments cheaper.
Great. Well, very exciting things coming out of the BIS Innovation Hub, it seems, and we're looking forward to the results presented at Point Zero Forum. Thank you very much, Morten Beck.
Thank you very much.
Some interesting comments about, this right here. All right. Well, hey, you got to do what you got to do with your profits. All right. Going further down into the comments. Yes, that's very interesting. All right. Corey B-Bay, you are correct. I don't think 10,000 XLM is a bad bag. Yeah, not bad. She says Jedi, Chinese, Thai, Japanese, etc., etc. All right, let me see how I'm doing with my time real quick. I think I'm all right. All right, so from here, we're going to jump to the next thing that we have. And it was nice to share that, right? We got a couple things I want to share from Verson Alarja. If you guys enjoy some of the, I don't know. I mean, I always try to listen to constructive criticism. Some people like it when I do the articles and give my own take. Some people are like, well, you need to have a balance of both. I don't know. I try to give the balance of both, like visuals, give my own take, tie it all in, make an outline. But where the case be, we are going to share a little bit of what Verson Alarja has. Him and his, I had to say, the other guy's got to be his twin brother. I don't know. But anyway, he posted this 2 days ago. It says the XRP army has overcome obstacles. How so? Right? Built bridges and stayed united. Right? Well, there's been many obstacles for XRP. Still, it's happening as we speak. Right? Now we wait as the world prepares to unleash the full potential of XRPs. You're going to reference, for instance, like on-demand liquidity, stuff like that. It's only a minute, but this is good perspective. How Ripple's cross-border payments solutions work, especially if you're brand new to all this. So let's have you guys smash that like. Only a minute and 9 seconds, and then we'll get into a little bit more of what we have for Ripple's XRP. Here we go.
Central bank digital currencies are domestic by nature. They're issued by a central bank or potentially issued by a central bank. Ripple has partnered with several central banks around the world. Some we've announced, some we haven't yet announced, that they're issuing and testing using the XRP ledger to issue their digital assets on the XRP ledger as a token. So we're excited to be working with them. And look, at our core, Ripple's really good at working with enterprise customers. A government is just a big enterprise customer.
Digital currency underpinned trade finance and money settlement systems, and using as a medium of exchange, using things like Ripple's XRP, for example.
25% of our volume on the network now is done with our on-demand liquidity product, which is putting XRP on these rails, driving settlements and the movement of value extremely fast, extremely efficiently, in a way that is absolutely documented and is done with a very much of an environmentally green approach behind all of it.
All right. we know about some of those things, but again, you know, it's kind of a dramatic video. There's more from Rusan. We're going to share this. I went ahead and retweeted that just because you guys like that one. On this one, let's jump back into it. Please give Verson a follow. I mean, if you have Ripple's XRP or some of these other ones like XLM and you use crypto Twitter, I mean, he's one of those guys that just, it's a no-brainer. You follow him, right? Like it says, Mr. Man Blackwood, right? Follow him. Shout to Blackwood. Okay. Michael Gibson engineered financial collapse, middle class targeted, wealth stolen. Meanwhile, the West conceals the dollar's decline and promotes CBDCs for control. This is where some people who are like Bitcoin maxis are going to be like, I'm never going to touch Ripple's XRP. I'm never going to touch Stellar XL. I'm never going to touch, you know, QNT, because it's in the end that can be put in the wrong hands, and therefore that equals control. That means, you know, my loss of my freedom, you name it, right? Teach his own. Okay. I look at some of this stuff kind of like, again, like I mentioned before, like the topic of like a gun. Okay. It could be put in the good hands. It could be put in wrong hands, right? But that's where some people have the debate of, how about just not putting in anybody's hands, period? Okay. That's where we can agree to disagree. You want to apply this towards CBDCs? Do I want to sit on the sidelines and watch other people get literally wealthy beyond their wildest control, or, you know, wildest dreams, I should say, not control? No, I'm not going to sit on the sidelines anymore. All right. I did that with BTC. Should have gotten to BTC back in 2010 when I first heard about it. Teach his own. All right. But people need to unite, educate, like he says, and fight together for our economic sovereignty. And if you have certain ones that it's just going to help things run more efficiently and so on, does that mean that, oh no, we don't invest in any of this stuff because, you know, what could happen? I mean, how about this? The World Economic Forum. A lot of us feel as though that, you know, Mr. Klaus Schwab is like literally the definition of like a real life supervillain. Okay. I understand that, you know, Ripple gets invited to Davos and all this stuff, you know. Still, my thing is this. It's like, I want to recognize that these are still great projects that have great use case. And I don't really think all of this is going to be used for evil. I'm just throwing that out there, but it teaches on. Again, people need to unite, educate. Let's educate more on this, right? So let's watch this, 1 minute and 18 seconds. Let's play this. Here we go.
As far as the banks go, yes, this is all an engineered plan. It's been going on for quite some time. They put the law on the books in 2008 that the banks, if they thought they were going to be insolvent, it's called a bail. They call it a bail-in is another word for it. They can seize all of the depositors' money and not give it back to protect them from going under. Well, that was the plan, and it's happening all over the world right now.
Yes.
We're just not being clued into it. But I get videos almost daily from around the world showing banks getting burnt to the ground, riots going on, people that are turning in their American dollars to get on whatever digital platform they're offering or whatever the government's telling them to do in their country, and they're dumping truckloads of our cash and burning it because it's worthless now. And people here are just not aware that's happening. So the collapse is coming here. We will be the last country that it happens in because they want to keep us in the dark till the last second. So we're not prepared. So you don't want money in the bank. And all these people that get on my Instagram and say, well, my money's insured up to $250,000. Then you have no clue how the system actually works. And the fact that they don't even have a fraction of a percent of enough money in that insurance fund to cover all the losses.
Right. But what could actually be utilized? What could be access to take on that debt? Remember, you know, in the past, we talked numerous times about, you know, Ripple's on-demand liquidity. Even yesterday, we were talking about, for instance, what was it, Axios, right? I'm probably going to try to do more of a follow-up on Axios. If you are bullish on Ripple's XRP for on-demand liquidity, understand the concept of like taking on not just the US's debt, but like literally, you know, debts of many different countries and so on. I think we do need to pay more attention to Axios, right, through Stellar, because that's big for XLM. So if you believe in, again, on-demand liquidity, What about Axios in regards to Stellar? That's big. We should follow that as well a little bit more. And of course, I'll give you guys more of an update in that regard. I'm going to welcome also Rafael Santos. He says, good day, Sir Max, and the whole Crypto Talk Now. Working in midnight these past few weeks. Well, you got to do what you got to do. I know how that goes. I used to work a graveyard shift at the post office about over 20 years ago. You know, when I mention the post office to some people, they feel as though it's a very easy job. It was a really, really hard job because over at the Priority Mail headquarters of the Southwest region of the United States, it's like, oh my God, man, like I think it's like 30 football fields long, the biggest warehouse I've ever seen in my life. You have like 200 bays of where mail comes in. And so you're working around the, you know, the around the clock shifts and so on. You work 12 to 14 hours every single day for 29 straight days, and then you get one day off. Then you work another 29 days straight days, and you repeat. This is rinse and repeat. You average about maybe 84 hours a week and so on. Yeah, you get paid time and a half, but it was just mentally draining. Like, I mean, the pay was decent, I guess you could say, but it was just so mentally drained because, I mean, you would literally come home, you're so exhausted for being on your feet all day and moving around and so on. And you know, what they do is they just size up people. So, oh, you're a big guy, you're working the docks all day long, you know, pushing and pulling on these giant cages full of mail, the pumpkin-sized bags and so on. I mean, it's a good workout, but it just destroys your feet. And then when you come home, you're exhausted. So when you sleep, and this is how it was for me, maybe you guys have had these types of jobs, have you not? Where have you ever worked so much at a place where it's just so mentally draining that you end up dreaming that you're at work? So it's like no escape from it at all. And then many times what I would do is like, you know, yeah, you get home, it's just like, you know, you only got an hour to eat dinner and then you have to go to bed. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to eat dinner and go right to bed. That's like, you know, all those calories going to turn instantly into fat, end up getting fat later on anyway. So what's the difference? But my point is, like, I just didn't do that. I didn't want to, you know, I had to get up for the next day. I can't call in. But man, it was just brutal. So man, my heart goes out to you, Raphael. Working, you know, that's basically like you know, you working graveyard shift and so on. My dad, you know, when I was growing up, he did swing shift, which was 4 a.m. Or I'm sorry, what was it, 3:30 p.m. or 4 p.m. 4 p.m. to 12:30. Get home real late, you know. You did it because it's just a little bit extra pay, but yeah, man, it's tough. Keep that grind though. Hopefully you can save up a little bit to buy some of the you know, some of these assets if they're distressed or they're on sale, you name it. Hopefully you have a watch list. I'm sure you do. But always good seeing you, Raphael. All right. Shout out to you and our fellow Filipino community. All right. All right. Corey Bibe says, I pray XLM gets to 100. All I can say is wow. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. All right. Let's see how we're doing on the time. We're doing pretty well. Let's see what I got left. All right. Let's see. Well, it's XDC. I know. Yesterday I said do some XDC. I think I'm going to wrap things up because I actually do need to go. And just, I don't know, eating that horrible Chinese food the other day. It's kind of like, man, I need to get something decent. And I want to get it earlier. That way I'm not, I mean, I got food here, but it's just so much preparation, like defrosting it and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to wrap things up because, you know, I need to. And this probably will help Mr. Dingy a little bit in regards to your data, my friend. It's been a good show. I do appreciate you guys being here. Be out on the lookout for another Jasmine video. I'll give you a little hint on what I'm working on, okay? So on this particular one, it's basically somewhat of like an unofficial follow-up. So if you guys remember, I did a video on, you know, Kunitake Ando and, you know, sharing the stage with Steve Jobs of Apple. There's another guy, he retired from Jasmine like a few years ago. So this video is kind of like a the precursor to Jasmine and why it matters and so on. And another guy who ended up coming into the team and being a big player in his background and what that means and so on. It's going to tie some things into, for instance, Apple once again. It's bullish. I haven't seen any of their content creators really talking about it and so on. So I'm giving my own deep dive into it, my own 2 cents. If you enjoy the content, you will enjoy this video. And there's another one I'm also working on that's going to get into some of the nitty gritty of other things and IoT, Internet of Things, and so on. I'm going to try to get that out as well. Hopefully I get it out tonight if I don't get too many distractions. I don't know. A lot of times right after the show gets over, it's like maybe for some of you guys, it's like, oh, hey, man, go on, do your own thing. For me, it's like I got to go from one end of the town to another, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And it's just, anyway, it's okay. But I'm going to try to get it out. And I do thank you guys. Appreciate you. Please smash that like on your way out. If you do watch recorded videos, also smash the like. That really helps recommend our channel to get it out further. We're not sponsored, but that's all we ask. All right. I'm going to read the last comments, and then we're going to wrap it up. Good day, Sir Max. Oh, I did read that. Thank you again, Raphael. I think that's it. Brittany, have a lovely night. You too, Brittany. Always appreciate you, Brittany. I do want to play a game with you and Edward, that RPG game at some point. That'd be very cool. We'll have to make it happen sometime. We could get on Discord. I still have Discord installed. You rock, Max. Thank you. Cheers, y'all. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, have a safe, fun 4th of July, everyone. Yeah, I think I should be here tomorrow. I mean, possibly not. Just want to throw that out there. Like, if I get invited randomly to go to something, I might go to it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, no max level on the game. Oh, there's no max level. Okay, thanks for the heads up on it. That's interesting. Huh. Well, very cool stuff. Have a great one, guys. Know what you have. Know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. We'll see you guys on the next one. Over and out for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you.